in the back pocket. North Melbourne this quarter kicking towards the main scoreboard end, and Boyce now with the ball. Good long kick too by Boyce, straight up towards the centre of the ground. Paid as they all had a go at it. The Troy players leading in the race of the ball. In they come now, nobody can pick it up. Eventually it comes out in the direction of Sutton. Sutton breaks away, goes for a short pass into towards centre half forward. That's successful. Hanson can't get in front of Blight, and Blight decides to break away straight away. He has a shot in towards the goals and puts it through for 4 points. Fitzroy one behind.
North Melbourne off to a great start. Waiting for the centre bounce again for the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup. Up it goes. Alexander in the box seat gets the tap down. Out wide. Going after is Peter Brown. He couldn't get clear. There we see a chance for Irma to get out. Down he goes, but he recovers pretty well. Tries to get it out to Brown. Picked up by Montgomery. And taken away now by Ick as he gets the ball down towards the North Melbourne half forward. And there we see Brian Brown. Getting it back to Keenan, and he takes the mark. No, he said, yes, it is a mark to Keenan. Definite mark. Noted about that. The crowd, it's a pretty big crowd here tonight, around about the 30,000 mark. As we see Netafol get it across to centre half forward, and the ball comes to the ground now. There's one on the back to Burn, but he still won't give up. He tries to scoop it out. He does. It comes out there now to Boyce, and Boyce is trying to get through. He got one across the face. Couldn't get out. In goes Smith, and finally hooks it out. Picked up now by Sutton. The left foot kick up there towards Simmerbush. He's clear. Has a running shot for goal. It looks good. Yes, it's through. And North Melbourne now off to a good start after playing only 3.5 minutes. We've got 2 goals on the board. 12 points to Fitzroy, just 1 point only.
A lot of changes in the North lineup, Lou. From the selected side, we see Ick go to centre half back, Moylan half back flank, Greg to a wing, Nettlefolds on as a ruck rover. Jarrett is actually shadowing Wilson everywhere he goes. Schimmelbusch to half forward and Burns to the centre.
Okay.
All in different positions.
North Melbourne, 2 goals straight, 12 points to Fitzroy. 1 point just on the 4-minute mark of the first quarter.
Burns has to go up in the ruck, knocks the ball away from Wilson. Linton's in there for Fitzroy, but he can't get clear. Greg does. Goes for a hand pass to Sutton once more. He's been in everything so far for North Melbourne. Blight got bowled over by Brown. The opportunity is for Wilson to clear the ball for Fitzroy, and he does. In towards the centre, McMahon goes up, knocks the ball away from Boyce.
Peter Blight's down there. He's in looks a bit groggy too.
Well, it'll be a bad blow for North Melbourne. In the meantime, Huppets has taken the mark in front of Brown, and Ray Huppets has a chance to bring up another score for North Melbourne. Malcolm Blight doesn't look too good at all. Might have been one on the hip or in the buttock. Very painful either way. The kick dropping short and the mark taken in the back pocket for Fitzroy by Hanson. In fact, he's almost in the 10-metre square. Chris Hanson, who has a very difficult job tonight to mind Malcolm Blight, is looking for out there the mark to Alexander, taking it in front of Keith Gregg. Certainly had the height advantage. He's gone for a hand pass to Serafini. Serafini now breaking away from Keith Gregg. The short pass is up towards the centre wing. Robbie Walls, that's better, takes the mark in front of Moylan. Walls, if he can fire, then he would be an invaluable player in the Fitzroy lineup tonight. He goes down to right half forward. No mark there, and the ball knocked over the boundary line. We'll see a throw-in to take place in the Fitzroy half-forward flank. They're kicking towards the City in goal so far, and they've notched up 1 point. North Melbourne 2 goals. The boundary throw-in now. Keenan goes up. Beecroft to McMahon. Couldn't get clear. Nobody can get clear. Warwick Irwin eventually picks it up and gets caught. The umpire says play on though. That was a good decision. Wilson tries to break away and well shepherded. Has a shot in towards the goal. It's all North Melbourne. Should be marked by Cowton and has done.
And McCarthy's grabbing him, rightly so, because there was a move going on. He's got it out now. Good hand pass coming out to Glendinning. Making a comeback after an injury there. The ball punched away, but he didn't actually punch it away, Smith. After it is Linton. The long-haired Fitzroy winger goes for a pass across to Alexander. He's found him. And there's a chance for Fitzroy to go into attack as Alexander boots it long. But Keenan's got the sit here. At the back is Beecroft. Down towards Wilson. He can't pick up. There's Henshaw backing up very well indeed. Shoots the ball out wide. It goes out towards the boundary line. I think it's out of bounds. Yes, out of bounds. Still on Fitzroy's half forward. And a penalty free kick to Linton. Getting across now. Looking for Walls. Going for the punch there we see Moylan. The ball driven out by North Melbourne again. Back to centre field. But there'll be a free kick. And the free kick will go to Hodges. Hodges of Fitzroy. Over the centre half forward position. There's Keenan again. And Crackers has got the mark. But there's a free kick to Robert Walls.
Being held, Lou.
Yes, being held. And of course, he's well within kicking distance, only about 40 metres out from goal directly in front. North Melbourne off to a great start. 2 goals straight, 12 points to Fitzroy. Only 1 point on the board. This could make a difference now. The ex-Carlton's captain coming in now, playing for Fitzroy. Fires, and the kick looks pretty good. Off the ground, and Alves on for North Melbourne. A change move. We see North Melbourne 2 goals straight, 12 points to Fitzroy. 1 goal, 7 points. 7.5 minutes gone of the first quarter.
There's Alves trying to shark the ball off Alexander's hands, but in the meantime a free kick played to Johnny Burns right in the middle of the ground. Burns now, the punt kick dropping a little bit short, the centre half forward, knocked to ground. Serafini piles in there for Fitzroy, so too does Brown. Keith Gregg waiting for the crumbs, but umpire Kevin Smith comes in to effect a bounce at the North Melbourne centre half forward position. And quite a muddy part of the ground down there too. The ball won't bounce very high. McCann tries to tap the ball away from Alexander, but the big fella dives on top of it and gets a free kick for his top of, and a 15-metre penalty for a trip. So Alexander, who has been in everything so far for Fitzroy, favours the torpedo punt. It goes out towards Keenan. He juggles it eventually and should be paid the mark. Crackers Keenan, certainly a greatly improved player since he transferred from Melbourne. The good passes to Burns, and Johnny Burns on the centre wing to put North Melbourne back into attack. He's tried to centre the ball, but not successful. McMahon takes it. Not paid by the umpire, that mark, which was strange. I thought he held it long enough. He goes for a hand pass. Huppets intercepts though for North Melbourne, but nobody can get it clear. And once again, Gildo decides to come in and ball it up. Stan Alves, as Lou mentioned, came out in the interchange just a few moments ago, so Ron Barassi already swinging the changes from the interchange bench. Alexander, Keenan, Gregg. Gregg's kick is landing half forward. 2 Fitzroy players there. None can do much with it though. Eventually picked up by Keys. Keys' kick up towards centre half forward. Walls goes up and takes another very good mark. He plays on straight away. Robbie Walls right towards the pivot. Bob Beecroft knocks the ball away, or in fact Glenn Denning did, but Beecroft battling on well, gets a push in the back, and he'll get a free kick. Bob Beecroft, well up on the league goal kickers this season, didn't play that well in the interstate game, but has a chance to make amends here with this kick. Former West Australian, as you can see, right on the boundary line and about 35 metres out from goal, comes in, shoots at the big sticks and has put it through. I think that's a good kick. We'll wait for the goal umpire. 1 point. Well, like the crowd, Lou, I thought that had gone through for a goal.
And so did the Fitzroy player, but still there's the result on the board. The 1978 Amco-Herald Cup. Fitzroy 1-2-8 points to North Melbourne. 2 goals straight, 12 points. Approaching the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. No time on in these first 2 quarters. Only 20 minutes of play. As Denning gets the ball back now up to the centre half back position. The ball pushed down. Oh, beautifully scooped out by McMahon. Over to Irwin. There's a hand pass. But we see pumping the ball that time was Serafini. A hand pass over to Conlon. He's clear. He's coming back on the right boot to have a snap for the goals. Beecroft in front, picks it up on the boundary line, but couldn't hold it in time, and the ball is out of bounds in the forward pocket. It'll be about 15 metres around from the Fitzroy goal. Ball knocked out. They were grabbed by McCarthy. A snap for goal, and Glenn Denning takes an easy mark back there at full back. Goes for a long hand pass to Cowton, who fumbles it. Nearly went down. Brown would have been pretty hard. Kicked off the ground by Brown again. Actually come off Hick's leg that time. Over to Serafini from Irwin. Another hand pass coming over here. Here's a chance now for Brown, but he fumbles. Picked up by Gregg. And the ball back towards the centre half forward position. A great mark taken there by Sutton. The pressure on by both sides. Sides are possibly bumping the ball because of the tension in the mud. That bounced the wrong way for Cassett. But Smith ran right into him and got himself into trouble. Out it comes again. And it's Bernie Quinlan grabbed by Burns. He's clear now as he gets the ball wide. And a here by Alves. Quickly playing on Stan Alves over the centre half forward. Going after his boys. He fumbles the ball. He goes down. The ball, that's Garrett, I should say. The ball finally picked up by Fitzroy as the ball goes back there towards the wing position. A chance for Quinlan to get clear. He's grabbed. He goes to the ground, but he gets up again pretty quickly. And there we see Crackers Keenan again on the way to take the mark at centre half back. The score, Fitzroy, 1 goal, 2-8 points to North Melbourne, 2 goals straight, 12 points. As the ball goes out there to the wing, and a mark taken out here by Stan Alves. Fitzroy took a little while to settle down, but they're playing a bit better now as Boys takes the mark out there on that half-forward flank and drives it well down towards the forward pocket. Coming across now, we see the pack fly. Baker got up high, couldn't hold the mark. Pushed out by Sutton, out towards Casson. Caston have a pot shot for goal, but he's too slow. He's up there, everything goes now. Picks it up nicely, shoots it back there looking for Brown, and Brown's got the mark. Hand pass. Over comes to Quinlan. Fitzroy away as the ball goes goes over their half-forward line. Looking up there for Beecroft. They've got some mark to McCarthy. A good mark to McCarthy. It'll be about 40 metres out from goal, if that. And this, of course, if he kicks this one, will put Fitzroy in front. We've played about 12 and a half minutes of the first quarter, and it's been a real battle at the moment. Crowd very big indeed. Shot. Not a bad sort of a kick, and what's the reason? There we see the scoreboard at the 13 and a half minute mark. Fitzroy, 2 goals, 2-14 to North Melbourne, 2 goals straight, 12 points.
Play in progress once more. Alexander getting the tap out, taps it out to Conlon. Conlon's clear. Just gets his kick in to right half forward for Fitzroy. The ball's into no man's land. Coming out to meet the ball now is Henshaw, but he races it over the line, and we'll see a boundary throw. And incidentally, in the early game, Moorabbin Tech 12-10-82 defeated Assumption College 8-5-53. The throw-in taking place. Let's see who can get it clear. Walls comes out with it for Fitzroy. Blitz from deep into attack up towards the forward. Takes a beautiful one-hander in front of Beecroft. He's clear, goes towards the outer side of the ground now. Linton and Boys doing battle. It's a race for the ball here, and none really wins it because it beats both players over the line, and we'll see a throw-in.
Pete Barras has been quick to make a change with Robert Walls. Gary Cowton has been switched across onto Robert Walls rather than Moylan.
Walls will go up in the ruck here. Cowton goes up behind though and taps it out. McMahon gets bowled over. Huppets can't handle the ball though, and once again we'll see a boundary throw-in. And this crowd, I would say, would be the largest we've had for a night match. It's very hard to tell because a lot of them are under the stands, but it's a very big crowd indeed, enjoying a very good game of football so far. Knocked away by Quinlan, looking for Conlon, but Henshaw interrupts, and the hand pass is wild. Comes out towards McCarthy. Here's well shepherded, picks the ball up, it goes into the pack, and that was bad play because he collided with a teammate. Eventually it comes out to Warwick Irwin. He has a snapshot in towards goal. It won't get the distance though. No mark played there. The umpire had to call play on. Fowler couldn't take it, and umpire Kevin Smith comes in to effect a bounce only 15 metres out from the Fitzroy goal. Can they get a goal here? Well, we'll soon see, but it's pretty crowded, the forward line. There's the bounce. Beecroft will do the ruck work. He taps it out, taken away by Wilson. Has a snapshot for goal, and what's he done with it? Point. So that point takes Fitzroy to 2-3-15, wasting a few opportunities up forward, and North Melbourne 2 straight goals. Ross Glendinning to take the kick.
And Fitzroy looking a bit dangerous at the moment as the ball comes out to that half-back flank. Oh, beautiful mark. A beautiful mark by Irwin that time. A lovely one-hander. He's looking for a lead. He's getting it across to the centre part of the ground of Walls. Can Walls mark it? No, it's punched away. Picked up by Glendinning. He's got back to form pretty quickly. Over to Grigg. Back now it goes to Montgomery. Had a bit of a slip, but he regained his recovery pretty quickly. And back it goes again to this half-forward line for Fitzroy, and the ball is out of bounds. It's about 70 metres around from their goal. They're at the moment 15 points to North Melbourne 12 points. North Melbourne up to a great start, kicking 2 goals in 3 minutes. Quinlan and Keenan going with a knockout. Down it comes now to Huppets. It's a wild hand pass. Greg falls down, tries to get up and get it out, but he won't give in, the North Melbourne skipper, and the umpire's found a free kick.
The crowd seems to be on Fitzroy's side, Louis.
Well, I'd say they are the underdogs. The Australian, particularly the Victorian football public, love the underdogs, and the Fitzroy, no doubt with all their bad luck this year, would certainly have a big majority of the crowd with them tonight, Pete. Waiting on Keith Grigg. Then they go for a hand pass to McCann. McCann's clear. And he gets well over the half-forward line. In front is Alexander. It was a bad delivery by McCann, and Alexander takes an easy one down there. Malcolm Blight's the danger player down there we've got to watch tonight for Fitzroy, and we see Serafini taking a mark, even though he fumbled. Had hard work of it. Got that on the half-back line. Fitzroy 15 points to North Melbourne 12 points. Ball comes across now towards the centre wing position. Pushed out again by Hanson. Over it goes to Brian Grant. It's a bad hand pass. Jarrett goes. He can't pick it. They're fumbling pretty badly at the moment. Hand pass from Linton over to Brown again. Back it goes to Walls. He's got the mark. McGilly's certainly shaping up well tonight, Bob.
He looks like the old Robert Walls, doesn't he?
The ball kicked out wide. Going after his Beecroft. Can he pick it up? He's got it, but he's grabbed. Well tackled. Down he goes. Boys and Conlon going after it. Conlon showing a lot of determination. He won't give in, and he's got a free kick.
On the shoulder.
And Fitzroy are going in very hard. They want to win this one. Well, I suppose North Melbourne does too. It's worth $50,000 the winner. The loser gets 42, so it's an additional $8,000 to the winning side. The ball goes up there towards Beecroft and Glendinning. It's over the head of the pack. Racing after it now is McCann down there in the back pocket for North Melbourne. Hooks it back and he's put it. No, he hasn't put it out of bounds. And the ball is out of bounds now, about 50 metres around from the Fitzroy goal.
Well, once more a chance for the Lions to score. It's in their attacking zone. Nettlefold running for North. Back doing battle with Walls. McCann tips it down to Nettlefold, but he couldn't get clear of the pack. In fact, it's very scrambly down there as Quinlan goes over. Boys breaking away for North Melbourne, and his clearing kick is in fact up over the centre line. Still, they can't mark the ball. Players making a few mistakes. Schimmelbusch goes for a hand pass, looking down there for Casson. Casson can't handle it either and goes over. In fact, he got bowled over. Smith comes in for Fitzroy, and eventually the ball is tapped out in the direction of Brian Brown. The hand passes over the head of Watergoo, and it's such a bad one. Nettlefold, a relieving kick in towards Casson, and he takes a good safe mark in the North Melbourne attacking zone. He's gone for a short pass out towards Burns, and Burns, there's two North Melbourne players there. In fact, they're both clear. Huppert has a shot in towards the goals, and a good safe mark brought down by Baker. Baker could score. He's only, well, you can see the square in the background, some 20 metres out at most. And Phil Baker, usually a fairly reliable kick for the Kangaroos, has a chance to bring up his first and North Melbourne's third goal. Phil Baker, a great high mark on his day. Been out through injury for quite a while. The kick is on its way, and the goal umpire says it's only North Melbourne with 2-1-13, and they still trail Fitzroy. The Lions 2-3-15. The first quarter been in progress 19 minutes and just a tick more.
Ball back into play now by Fitzroy after their half-back line. In front is Alexander. McCann at the back. Oh, beautifully picked off the pack that time by Wilson. Doing a pretty good job for Fitzroy. Down it goes again. There's a chance now for Fitzroy, North Melbourne to get it through Count. Gets the ball wide. It's out of bounds on the full, and a penalty free kick will go to Wilson again. Driving it across now to the half-forward flank position. Coming out now is Quinlan to take the mark. Fitzroy looking all right at the moment too, playing with a lot more promise. There's Beecroft in front. Can he mark it? No, punched away by Glendinning. Good play. He's a darn good defender, that fellow.
Just on siren time.
Just on siren time as we wait now for the ball to come back into play. Fitzroy will have to hurry if they want to get a goal before quarter time. There's the siren for the end of the quarter. And we see Fitzroy 2 goals, 3-15 to North Melbourne, 2-1-13.
Now readying himself for the bounce. Umpire Bill Deller will put play in motion once more for us. Only 2 points the difference, and a very big crowd here at VFL Park. We'll get a crowd estimation for you as soon as we can, but I think most of us would agree it's something in the vicinity of 30,000. A very, very good finale to what's been a tremendous series right throughout the year, and the weather certainly kind to us tonight. No problems with the fog. Right, here we go for the second quarter. Keenan in ruck. Warwick Irwin ruck roving for Fitzroy. Alexander tries to get over the top of the big fella, but he succeeds in taking it away from him anyway. Goes up towards right half forward. Henshaw comes out but couldn't mark the ball. The umpire, I think, has plucked out a free kick to him for a push in the back. And Ross Henshaw goes for a short pass out towards Ick. He's on his own, so has no trouble in marking. He goes back to take his kick. He's kicked it out wide towards Stephen McCann, and he in turn takes the mark in front of Chris Smith. McCann at right half-back for North Melbourne. They didn't really gain much from that. Another short pass is also effective up towards Counton. The hand pass is on, taken away by Boys. Boys is clear now and drives North Melbourne into attack to right half-forward. The mark spilled by Alexander. Hodges on the ground, tries to pick it up, can't do so. And umpire Kevin Smith comes in and he'll ball it up. On the half-forward line, there you can see Ron Barassi in the coach's box, looking worried as he generally does, but still only 2 points the difference. And naturally anybody's game at this stage of the match. Quite crowded bounce up. Keaton knocks the ball down, looking for Jarrett, but he couldn't take it with him. They try and tap it forward, but a free kick has been paid in the meantime. It's going Fitzroy's way. Comes out to Irwin. He goes for a hand pass to Brown. That's Brian Brown, and Brown's clear. Well shepherded by Hodges. And he drives Fitzroy up towards Roddy Walls once more, and he takes a good mark in front of Counton, who's been moved onto him, as Bob Skildron says. Back to Brown once more, who backed up and moved up the field. And he drives Fitzroy into attack now. McMahon, but Ick's got the better of him once more. And Stephen Ick takes a very good mark at centre half back.
Good mark to Ick, and they go back into business, but that's a bad kick once again from, I think that was from Jarrett. And the mark taken there by Robert Walls again. Robert Walls in everything at the moment. Have to stop him if they're going to win this North as the ball goes up towards Beecroft and Glendinning. Denning goes right, trying to grab the mark. He said play on the umpire. Just didn't give him a chance to get it out. And there's a pile up here, and I think the umpire's going to ball it up. Yes, a ball up about 10 or 12 metres out from the Fitzroy goal. Couldn't hang on to it quite long enough. I think Glendinning might have touched that first. Up it goes now. Knocked out by Keenan. As it go now for Wilson, have a hurried shot, couldn't get clear, the ball coming out to McMahon, a snap for goal, it's coming around.
Not bad.
Not far enough, and through for 1 point. So Fitzroy go to 2 goals, 4-16 to North Melbourne, 2-1-13. 2.5 minutes gone of the second quarter of the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup. We'll wait now for Glendenning to bring the ball back into play for North Melbourne. We'll come around this member's side of the ground. Alexander and Keenan. Off the top of the pack. Pushed out again, that time by Alves. Going after it now as Linton goes down. Finally picked up here by Boys. He was grabbed around the neck and he'll get a free kick. Goes for a quick hand pass, trying to find Burns. Alves spoiled that actually for him. Down it comes now, and we see Greg getting away nice and clear that time. Back it goes towards centre half forward. The pack are getting themselves. Sid Smith went into the pack pretty hard. Hodges battling hard. Finally it comes out to Brown, over to Linton. Linton back to Brown again, and Fitzroy away as Brown gets it well over the half forward line. Keenan there, very solid, takes a nice mark there at centre half back. That's about 3 he's taken in defence since the game started, Crackers Keenan. My golly, he's a greatly improved player, this fellow, as the ball goes out. They're looking for McCann, but he's swamped by 3 players now. And going down to Smith, but he got plenty of time to get up and boot the ball back up there towards Beecroft. And a good mark taken once again by Keenan. Going for a short pass, it's not a very good one, trying to find Montgomery there on the boundary line. The ball is out of bounds, about 55 metres around from the Fitzroy goal. Fitzroy playing with a lot more confidence than they did in that first 5 or 6 minutes of the game. Keenan at the back, in front is Robert Walls. Neither really got control that time. It finally pushed out by Alves towards Cowton. He's showing plenty of strength. Beautiful spin out of the pack. And away it goes from Boys. Back there towards centre half forward. Staying at the back as Brown dropped the sitter that time, and a pile up again, and the umpire will ball it up right on the edge of the square. Fitzroy 2-4-16 to North Melbourne 2-1-13 at the 4-minute mark. The second quarter. Alexander, beautiful knockout, but there was no one there for Fitzroy. This allows Burns to get clear and drive it back over the half-forward line. As a chance for Schimmelbusch to mark. It's too long. Out it comes to Huppets now. Got plenty of time to do something with this if he's good enough. Kicks it off the side of the boot a bit. Back it goes there. No, Baker couldn't. It went between his legs, actually. Going after it now is Keys. He gives a wild hand pass. But the umpire said holding the ball, and the free kick will go to Baker right on the boundary line about, 35 metres out from goal. A difficult shot for a right footer. You can see the goals there in the background. He's got much space to get them through. Hasn't kicked the goal yet. Kicked by Baker. Doesn't quite make the distance. Oh, look at Blight getting up that time and playing it safe as Brown and pushed it through for 1 point. And we see North Melbourne go to 2 goals, 2-14 to Fitzroy, 2-4-16. 5 minutes gone of the second quarter.
The Amco-Herald Cup, 7 Sports Special. And when you're seeing it live at home, hope you're enjoying the telecast. It's pretty cool out here, but a very big crowd enjoying some pretty warm action at the moment. The kick out from full back now. Smith gets high, but he couldn't mark the ball. The hand pass is out to Stevenink. He goes for another one over to Blight. Blight in turn takes another hand pass over to Schimmelbusch. Schimmelbusch in all sorts of trouble. Back to Stevenink. He gets caught with the ball, and Linton breaks away, gives it over to Hansen, and Fitzroy are clear. The kick is up towards the centre of the wing now, and up they go. Walls not very high and should be paid the mark. Robert Walls with Keenan, possibly the most effective players on the ground at the moment. He's gone for a pass out towards Jerry McCarthy. McCarthy, oh dear, puts it right out of bounds on the floor with a penalty free kick. Well, we're taken for North Melbourne down there by Ross Glendenning. I don't know who he was kicking to there. I might have seen somebody in the crowd he knew. Wasn't to a player. Glendenning with Beecroft on the mark. Beautiful kick from the North Melbourne fullback. Keenan in the middle of the pack. Taps the ball out, taken away by Alves. He goes for a pass to Ick. Ick is well shepherded and clear, and kicks North Melbourne up into their attacking zone. Or Huppets could have given away a free kick there, but the umpire called play on. Hodges comes out of the pack very smartly, gets caught and goes down, but gets the ball over to Smith. Smith cops one for his trouble and can't get the ball clear of the pack also. Huppets in there for North Melbourne. Blight comes out with the ball, but umpire Kevin Smith comes in and he'll bounce it some 35 metres out from the goal. We see McCann, Fitzroy tap the ball up forward to Gary Wilson, but he's got to do battle against 2 players. Linton comes in and nobody can get it clear, and once more we'll see a ball up. Now they did a change there, just trying to pick up who went off.
Alves off, Peter, and Nettlefold on.
Right, well he's done that a couple of times now. The bounce down once more. Jarrett, Wilson, still they can't get it clear of the pack. It's over to Burns. He decides to go the other way, and that was clever. And Johnny Burns putting North Melbourne up towards their half-forward line now. They all miss it. Here's a chance for Fitzroy to Serafini. It's tapped out to him by a North Melbourne player. Out to Keys, is it? The kick is up towards centre half back, and a nice mark taken by Gary Wilson.
Good play by Wilson. He's clear and getting it out there towards the wing position. A mark here to Linton. They're doing pretty well, Fitzroy, except they're fumbling a bit down there in defence. Ball kicked out now by Linton up to the half-forward line. Robert Wall's in front, going with the punch is Keenan. Packet comes to Carlton. A hand pass back to Keenan. Back to McCann out there on the wing position. The ball back towards North Melbourne's half-forward line. They're flying. It's just about a mark to Fitzroy's Brown, I'd say. Good strong mark by Brian Brown.
He's playing well, Louis, isn't he?
Playing very well. They've got quite a few good players, Fitzroy, at the moment, where they can last. That's the story of the game. Over the head of the pack, picked up now by Boys, and Boys drives it back towards that half-forward line, and once again, Hanson dropped the sitter that time, back toward, he's collared beautifully, Wilson. Umpire still called plain as Jarrett gets a wild hand pass to Billy Netterfold. He'll go for another hand pass. Coming down there is Burns, gets a hand pass back to Greg. He'll have a putt shot for goal. What's the result? It's up target and through for one. Ball back into play there as we see Fitzroy drive the ball wide out there looking for Conlon, but it's a bit long and the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position. The score unchanged. 2-4-16 Fitzroy to North Melbourne 2-3-15, approaching the 9-minute mark of this second quarter, the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup. There's Alexander at the back of Keenan. No one got control that time. Punched away by Netterfold. Going after his Wilson. He's been a very busy boy tonight. Hand pass back to Quinlan. Another one over to Hodges on the centre wing position. And it's over Fitzroy's half-forward. I'm looking there for Walls in front. Punched away by Carlton. Going after it now is Montgomery. Well intercepted by Walls. He's a star tonight. He can't get clear. Down he goes. He's still trying to get it out. The umpire said he was grabbed too high. And Robert Walls will get the free kick about 55 metres out from goal. Already kicked one goal at the moment. Robert Walls certainly giving this great crowd a big thrill tonight as he boots the ball high, looking for Beecroft again. Glendenning going for the punch. Henshaw goes down, gets it over to Glendenning. He was grabbed but kicks it off the ground. Well scooped up now by Boys as the ball comes back towards the wing position. McCann couldn't hold that, but he recovers pretty well. Trying to get it back in. He doesn't know quite what to do with it. It's smothered by Fitzroy. Smith and the ball is out of bounds. And Fitzroy doing a mighty job at the moment.
Yeah, I think it was a superb piece of smothering.
Ron Barassi's a bit concerned about it up there.
Linton off and Thompson on for Fitzroy. Alexander knocks the ball down, almost taken by Nettelfold, and there's Thompson now getting it out to McMahon, but he's hotly pursued by two North Melbourne opponents. Can't get the ball out from underneath the pack, and umpire Bill Dallas says he'll ball it up on the Fitzroy half-forward line. The Lions 2-4-16, North Melbourne 2-3-15 in the second quarter now, and it's been very close right since the first siren. Okay, so Keenan knocked away by Quinlan. Back to Stephen Ick. Ick now driving North Melbourne out of the danger zone up towards the centre of the ground. Schimmelbusch, Sutton goes for a hand pass. That's effective too over to Burns, and with that crouched style of his, driving North Melbourne into attack. Baker couldn't mark the ball. Two Fitzroy opponents. Carter comes in, goes for a hand pass in the direction of Alexander. The big fellow can't pick it up. This allows Schimmelbusch the opportunity. He's shepherded by Huppert, but nevertheless loses the ball. The two Fitzroy players take the ball over the line, and we'll see a throw-in to take place on the North Melbourne, well, nearly in the forward pocket, actually. It's only some 25 metres around from the behind post. Quinlan knocks the ball down, taken away by Brown. A little short kick up towards the half-forward flank. Gives the opportunity to Fitzroy. Thompson drives them out of danger. Walls again. He's covering plenty of ground, isn't he, the former Carlton player? He was good to get his kick there too, but it won't be a mark because it wasn't 10 metres. Thompson loses the ball, gets pushed over. Nobody can get it clear. Nettelfold's in trouble. Here's Thompson once more, breaking clear of the pack now. He decides to centre the ball out towards centre half forward. The mark is not paid though, and the umpire calls play on. Henshaw, crowd not happy with that decision. To centre half forward, Hodges in front of the pack. No mark paid again. Kick forward for the Lions. Out toward two North Melbourne players there, and Huppert it is. Drives them forward, and a good mark taken by Keith Gregg in front of Serafini. Gregg would be some 50 metres out from goal, the lead being made. Let's see if he goes for it, or a long kick. He's booted it right towards the 10-metre square. Smith knocks the ball away, follows it up well, looks for a hand pass. They can't get it clear. Hanson's in trouble down there for Fitzroy, and the umpire comes in and he'll ball it up just wide of the 10-metre square in the North Melbourne attacking zone.
Waiting now for the umpire to bounce the ball. Pressure on the Fitzroy defence. Knocked out by Hanson, grabbed by Carter. He clears it away back towards the half-back line now. Ball pushed away by Keenan. Grabbed by Netafile. A shot for goal. Doesn't make the distance. They've got Blight covered here. They can't get near it. And Blight tried to kick it off the ground. Couldn't get it clear. So scrimmage. Oh, he's pushed it through and through for one. Good mark taken there by Huppets. The ball falls a bit short. Boys couldn't hold that one. Backing up well as Netafile trying to force his way through the pack. Hicks there. Grab. Actually threw it away that time when the umpires paid a free kick. And the free kick will go to Quinlan at centre half back. Scores dead level. 2 goals for 16 apiece. And we've played 13 and a half minutes. Back it goes there, and we see Quinlan clear as he gets the ball over the half-forward on a chance now for McMahon to mark, and he does. He's out there about 55 metres out from goal. The ball drops a bit short. Wilson's got his hands, but couldn't hold the mark. Irwin spins out of the pack beautifully. Another hand pass coming over now to Thompson. A running shot for goal. It doesn't make the distance. And it's through for 1 point. Or is the umpire going to pay the mark? Pushing the back probably. What's the free kick to North Melbourne? And the free kick going to Crackers Keenan, who's doing it. There it is coming back now. We'll see him come in. Oh, he got into his back. There's no doubt about that. The ball back here now towards centre field. Going up well as Keys and takes a pretty good mark. They've got a few star players for North Melbourne well covered at the moment. Schimmelbusch can't break clear, and they're certainly doing a pretty strong job, that defence. Up it goes towards Walls. He couldn't hold the mark. Walls has got it again, trying to scoop it out. He does this time. A hand pass coming out now, and we see Conlon go for another one. And this looks dangerous as McMahon has a snapshot for goal. It looks good. Well, that's the first goal for the quarter, and we see Fitzroy 3 goals for 22 to North Melbourne, 2 for 16. 15 and a half minutes gone of the second quarter.
Boys breaking clear and kicks North Melbourne up towards Darryl Sutton, who drags in a screamer at centre half forward for the Kangaroos. And he's within scoring distance if he gets onto this. Usually a very good kick, Sutton. And by the way, he's lining up the shot. Going to try and make every post a winner. Darryl Sutton from centre half forward has the shot for North Melbourne. It won't be a score, though, I don't think. It's into the forward pocket. Blight couldn't handle it on that particular occasion. And the umpires paid a free kick to Fitzroy and will be taken down there by Hanson. Hanson right in the back pocket, looking for a lead upfield. Decides to kick it long with the drop punt. Big fellas get up. They try to fist it away, but taken by Alves. Goes for a hand pass to Greg. Burns was waiting for it, but he goes for a foot pass down towards Alan Jarrett. He drops a sitter, but he backs up well. Jarrett kicking it in towards the centre half forward. Carter goes over very solidly, not in possession of the ball. The umpire says a free kick.
Got too high, Pete.
Going to Fitzroy. Well, they got out of it maybe a little bit luckily on that occasion, but it was there. Let's see what they can do now. Rod Carter playing fullback in place of the injured Harvey Merrigan, the Fitzroy skipper. A nice mark taken by Beecroft, who's run out from goals, but a free kick to North Melbourne. 4 on the shoulder, and it will be taken by Henshaw. Henshaw from just right at the centre of the ground. Good long kick in towards the full forward zone. Blight couldn't mark it again. Play on should be the call. In fact, it is. Fitzroy clear through Hodges. Hodges' kick out towards Huppets. He loses it, though. In comes Burns to try and give him some assistance, but goes over in the meantime, and he'll take the free kick. John Burns. Now the call is play on, so he runs around the runner. A high kick in towards the centre half forward position for the Kangaroos. Baker gets underneath it all. They all miss it. Brown in there for Fitzroy. Tackles Huppets hard. They lose the ball. Crowd appealing for a free kick. The umpire again calls play on. They're letting it go tonight, and that's good. Out come the Fitzroy defenders. The hand pass is wild out towards Wilson. Wilson's clear. Oh, that was well stopped then by Boys. And he succeeded in knocking the ball over the line. There's Ron Barassi looking very pensive. 3-4 to 2-4 the score as we watch the throw-in.
And the ball comes back into play now. Boys going after, but down he goes. Slippery surface out there. Players finding it very hard as we see Keys going in pretty hard for Fitzroy too, and the umpire's going to ball it up here for sure. Up there towards the North Melbourne half-forward line. They're tackling very hard. Schimmelbusch can't get away from his opponent, Keys. I noticed that. Every time he goes, he collars him all the time. There's Jarrett going for a punch out to Burns, and Burns is ready to fire up towards the full forward zone. Baker there, can he hold it? No, it's punched away again. Down it comes to Smith. He was Brown, I should say, grabbed it. The umpire called play as a snap for goal. Going over here now, and what's the result? 1 point. So we see the score now. North Melbourne in front, 2 goals, 5-17. The Fitzroy 3-4, 22, 18 and a half minutes gone of this second quarter. The ball will come back into play now. Now it goes to centre half back. There's a chance for Beecroft, who's come well down from the full forward position, must be having a run on the ball. A hand pass coming over to Brian Brown, who's doing a great job. Ball's in front, got under that, punched away by Cowden. Back it comes in out of Serafini. Can he pick it up? He plays it safe, knocks it ahead in front of him there. Going after now is Thompson. Got one in the back or in the side, the umpire said. McCarthy now a chance to pick it up. Goes the hard way around and finally gets it up towards Alexander. Punched away by Glendenning. Henshaw's kick is smothered. Alexander's a hurried kick for a goal, but it's off target and through for 1 point at the 19-minute mark. So scores a dead level. No, it's not dead level again, is it?
Goal the difference.
Goal the difference. 3-5-23. There's Campbell, is it? You can't see it. That's Campbell up there standing on his feet. He's getting ready because it's quite near half-time now. 3-5-23 to 2-5-17 as the ball is out there on the wing position. Goes wide. Going after it now is Smith in front of Baker. Turns away nicely, gets a hurried kick. Back it goes, but the umpire's found a free kick. It'll be against Baker. It's up the field. And to take the free kick will be Beecroft. The hand pass coming over to Smith. Fitzroy on the goal. Ball going down there towards that half-forward line. And the umpire's found a free kick. This time it'll go to Cowden.
Very nearly on the half.
Well, they're just slowing up a bit here. Now they're all getting a bit confused with those free kicks, I think. And out it goes. And we see North Melbourne take it away through McCann. McCann getting it back now towards that half-forward line. Up gets Smith again. And they're certainly going in pretty hard, that defence, as Wilson goes down right on siren time. And we see Fitzroy in front by 1 goal. 3-5-23 to North Melbourne. 2-5-17. Well, Bob, they're putting up a pretty good show, Fitzroy. Their defence, they're tackling well, but they're just making a few kicking mistakes down there, aren't they? I think
pick up Robert Walls, Moylan to fullback, and Stephen Ick. Now it's Stephen Ick picking up Robert Walls, and Glendenning with a possibility out to McCarthy. But Glendenning is out on the half-back line. There's Ick and Walls now together. And Ross Glendenning just coming into the picture. So it's obvious that Barras wants to get a little bit more attack from his half-back line if he's bringing Ross Glendenning out there.
Well, North Melbourne kicking towards the main scoreboard end in the third term. And here we go. A vital term, as Lou just said. Let's see who can get that first goal. Alexander. Fitzroy through Irwin, almost got the ball out of the pack. Serafini picks it up well and hooks it over his shoulder. Straight down the ground, but the mark is taken by Ross Glendenning, as Bob suggested, moved out from goal. The hand passes to Henshaw, but it wasn't a particularly good one. Jarrett goes for a long hand pass over to Carton. Carton's clear, goes right across the ground and into no man's land, well clear of Boys and his opponent Thompson, and we'll see a throw-in. So they really gained nothing from that. That VFL insignia is on the centre wing, so it's still on the Fitzroy attacking side of the ground. Alexander trying to get the front posse, taps the ball down, but it goes straight to Malcolm Blight. Blight twisting and turning, he's got nobody to give it to, so he goes for a kick high in the air. Let's see who can mark this one. Keenan couldn't do so, but he's interfered with and he'll get the free kick. Packers Keenan from the centre of the ground. Still on the Fitzroy attacking side of it though. Gone for a pass in towards McCann. He goes up very high, almost brought down the mark, but coming down with it was Keys for Fitzroy. The call was play on though by the umpire. Brown's hand pass is taken by Irwin. Irwin puts Fitzroy into attack now towards left half forward. Glendenning getting mark. McMahon there for Fitzroy. Padley's on the ground too for the Lions. We see McMahon comes in. He's got the ball in front of him now. Here's a chance for Fitzroy. He almost stopped one there. The hand pass is effective. A shot for goal by McMahon. Padley runner. Right, North Melbourne 2-5-17. Fitzroy 4-5-29 into the third term.
Okay, Fitzroy trying to break clear now. They get it through Irwin. Over their half-forward line. Going after it now, we see Walls. He was grabbed. I think he'll get a free kick, yes. Oh, Fitzroy, the crowd are going berserk here. They're really Fitzroy pro-Fitzroy. There's no doubt about that. And he'd be about 45 to 50 metres out. This wouldn't be beyond Robert Walls. He's already kicked 1 goal. Robert Walls. This will be a danger one. Not a bad sort of a kick. Doesn't quite make that. It's McCarthy at the back. Got up there. Still Wilson having a snap, but off target and through for 1 point. Well, they're off to a good start. They're in front by 13 points at the moment. And we've only played, just on 3 minutes of this third quarter of the Amco-Herald Cup of 1978. The grand final, a good mark to Greg. A beautiful mark. Out there, a little short of half-back. The goal of the crowd is certainly behind the lines at the moment as the ball goes out to the wing position. We see the ball going down to Quinlan. He couldn't take that mark. A hand pass back to Hodges. A very quick kick back towards the half-forward line. It's out of bounds on the full. And Greg, the North Melbourne skipper, will take that free kick at half-back. Certainly come to life the crowd when Fitzroy got that goal. Greg now booting the ball up towards the half-forward line. At the back of the pack is Alexander doing a great job. Can he get clear? Oh, his bad mistake that time as we see him knock the ball over to Burns. A hand pass coming over here to Schimmelbusch. He's grabbed but still gets a hurried kick up there towards the full forward zone. Punched away by Carter and the ball is out of bounds in the forward pocket position. Fitzroy, defence now livened up too by that goal by Fitzroy coming very quickly after the start of this third quarter. The ball back into play again. Knocked out by Baker. Back it goes there, and we see Fitzroy drive it away through Brian Brown, who's doing a magnificent job. Out to Quinlan, he's got the ball now. Out there on the wing position, doesn't know what to do with it. He's looking for a lead, but he goes around his opponent pretty easily that time. Looking for Walls. He got under the ball, but a push in the back. They've got Glenn Denning on him now, I noticed that, and of course Robert Walls. I'm right at the half-forward flank position. He'd be about 70 metres out from goal. And they're moving around those forward for Fitzroy. At the back there. There's a mark. A good mark to McCarthy. It fell on his chest that time. Already kicked one goal. He's within kicking distance now. It would be about 45 metres out from goal, directly in front. This will make it pretty tough for North if he pops this one through. Here he goes, McCarthy. The kick is the distance, okay. What's the result? Off target and through for 1 point, and we see Fitzroy now go to 4 goals, 7-31 to North Melbourne, 2-5-17, just on the 5-minute mark of this third quarter, the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup.
Kick out from full-back, it's a poor one, it's dropping short, over the line, free kick.
Just with that crowd played for Fitzroy.
They've gone mad, haven't they? There's Ron Barassi, not too pleased with that effort. And Fitzroy through Serafini, driven into attack, deep into attack. Beecroft underneath the ball. It's all North Melbourne though. Henshaw with the opportunity, taps it out, looking for his skipper Keith Gregg, and he's found him. Gets it over to Montgomery. He drives North Melbourne clear up towards Hodges though, but he couldn't mark the ball. He's gone for a hand pass to Serafini. He's in trouble though, but gets out of it, and well shepherded by Hodges too. The pass is a short one to Robert Walls, who's on his own. And Robert Walls now from right half forward to drive the Lions into attack. They're playing in their first grand final since 1959. That was when they were in the night series at South Melbourne. Beecroft, the ball knocked away by Moylan. Still a chance for Fitzroy as they go into attack through Thompson. Thompson's kick is not marked by Irwin. Blight, a clearing kick for North Melbourne out towards the half-back flank. Boys is chasing after it. He's in front of Thompson and clear. He touches the ball on the ground and away go the Kangaroos up towards the centre wing position. There's nobody there. Brown comes out, meets the ball, but it doesn't go his way. Huppets with a hand pass is well intercepted. By golly, the Fitzroy players have lifted themselves. It'll be a free kick, I think, to Huppets, and the crowd aren't too happy with that. Just listen to those boos. Huppets driving North Melbourne into attack. They can't mark it. Smith, a relieving kick for the Lions. They're into attack once more. Glendenning and Walls. Up they go, but the mark is taken by Crackers Keenan. A good safe mark at centre half-back. Keenan been fairly quiet since he got that knock. Stevenick, a long kick out towards the centre wing position. Knocked away by Keys. So Schimmelbusch it was. Backs up well. He's kicked the ball in towards the centre half forward, but Brown, another saving kick for Fitzroy. Bad mistake there, but Fitzroy still should get out of it through Irwin. If he knocks the ball clear, he does that, comes over to Wilson. Oh, knocked out of Key's hands, but he gets it back to Wilson once more. Wilson, that should be marked by Stevenick, and he'll take a mark and steady the North Melbourne players down at the right half-back flank. He'll be looking for a lead up towards the centre wing position or thereabouts. McCann's there, goes up with Alexander. The ball fisted over the head to Smith it is, and Smith is clear now. He'll drive Fitzroy deep into attack once more, but Crackers Keenan should mark it, but he doesn't. Bad mistake. Here's the opportunity for Fitzroy now. They go forward. Kicked up by McMahon, and he's put it through for 1 point. Oh dear, what a bad miss, Louis.
Bad luck. There's Barassi, very concerned there with Max Ritchie. There's the score on the board. 2-5-17 North Melbourne to Fitzroy 4-8-32. And the Lions have got their tail really up in the air at the moment. There's the ball back into play, that time by Moylan. Made quite a few changes, North Melbourne. The ball's pushed away by Keenan. Down it comes to the ground. Alexander tries to scoop it out, but finally picked up by Keenan again, out towards Keys. Keys going after it, so is Schimmelbusch, right on his tails. But Keys leaves him for dead there. Hand pass back now to Irwin. Another one coming back to Smith, doing a great job. But it's up the side of his boot and out of bounds on the full. And a penalty free kick to go down there to Jarrett out there at half-back for North Melbourne. North Melbourne trailing by 15 points. It's not over by a long shot yet, knowing North Melbourne. Comes to McCann now. He couldn't pick it up. McMahon going after it again. They've got a run on the back, and McCann will take that free kick. A little short of the half-back flank position. Yes. It's only been down on that half-forward line for North Melbourne once in this quarter. Ball out there now over the half-forward line. The players set themselves. Baker couldn't hold it. Baker going after it again. I think he's had one kick for the night so far, so things have been pretty scarce for him as the umpire decides to ball it up out there on that half-forward line for North Melbourne, about 65 metres out from their goal. We see Alexander with the backers. Nenefeld hasn't got much of a chance against him there as it comes down again to Fitzroy. They push it forward again. They're all a bit anxious here, trying to get it up as Quinlan gets it up. A long hand pass out to no man's land there. Actually picked up again by Glenn Denning, and he's clear. He'll drive it well down. He goes for a pass. Oh, Sutton got under it, couldn't pick it up. Grabbed by Hodges. A very hurried kick back towards centre field. And there's Huppets now. North Melbourne are playing pressure as the ball goes up there. But Fitzroy are strong as we see the ball taken away again by Carter. Out towards the wing position. Thompson knocks it down. Picked up by McMahon. He's looking for a lead. A left foot kick down towards Wall, but he's smothered here by Glenn Denning, who kicks it off the ground. Glenn Denning backing up a beautiful pick-up. He's collared, but a free kick will go to Glenn Denning. Nothing about that one. By God, it was a beautiful pick-up, Bobby.
Good play by McMahon, though, Lou. There's Huppets coming off for North Melbourne, but McMahon didn't want Glenn Denning to break through that centre.
OK, the kick now by Glenn Denning. Alexander gets one on the chest that time, but finally gets it over the Hodge, but the umpire said Alexander was grabbed too high and he'll take the free kick. 4 goals, 8:32. Fitzroy to North Melbourne, 2:57 at the 10-minute mark of this third quarter. Alexander with the ball now. A hand pass coming over to Hodges. He better get rid of it quickly. He does. Falls a bit short now. Back it goes there to Wilson. Wilson's in trouble. A beautiful hand pass. This gives Irwin the right for the ball now. But he's grabbed to get a free kick for sure. Didn't happen by a mile. However, usually a pretty good kick should lob this down up towards the forward line. Up it goes there looking for McCarthy. Beecroft, I should say, and he's got the mark. Beecroft would only be about 35 metres out from goal and yet to score one.
Well, with Glenn Denning up the ground, Beecroft's got one big height advantage over Moreland.
That's right. Well, he's only a short guy, Moreland. OK, Beecroft coming in. The shot that looks off target, I'd say, and throws it through for a goal. Fitzroy going very well at the moment. 5 goals, 8:38 to North Melbourne, 2:57 in 11.5 minutes gone of this third quarter.
Yes, and North Melbourne still to score this quarter. Gary Wilson, or his Quinlan rather, having a shot for goal for Fitzroy from a mile out. I think he's got it through. We'll wait for the goal umpire. Yes, he has. Bernie Quinlan must have kicked that 65 metres.
Isn't that a beautiful piece of football, Lou? That's the reason I'm sure that Fitzroy have paid what they paid for him. There it is again. We'll watch it in the slow motion replay. He's only just ran out of that centre square.
Magnificent shot from Quinlan, a bit like Paul Banderhaas on Saturday. And you can see the players, they completely misread the distance that ball was going to travel right through the middle, about 3.5 metres from each post. And back live, the ball tapped out to Burns, but he can't get clear of the centre. Has to go for a hand pass, but it's over Keenan's head. The hand pass is to Serafini, but he doesn't kick it very far. Here's a chance for Quinlan again. He goes for a hand pass this time, and Fitzroy are really burning now. It's kicked into attack by Wilson. Wilson's kick up towards the forward line. It's all North Melbourne, though. Sutton and Montgomery come out. Montgomery's kick is out towards the half-back flank. It could be over on the full, but the mark is taken by Wilson, and Ron Barassi's not too happy. The short pass is in towards McMahon. He lines them up and puts it through. All clear. Right, well, there's the score, and pandemonium here at VFL Park. The fans have gone mad. 7-8-50 Fitzroy leading North Melbourne 2-5-17.
Back to the centre bounce. Beecroft gets it out. Not Beecroft. Alexander gets it again. Keenan goes for a hand pass. He can't get clear. It's finally picked up by North Melbourne as they drive it up towards centre half forward. Light in front there. Couldn't hold the mark. But look at these Fitzroy defenders as Brown drives it out wide. Out towards that half-back line. Greg going after. Can he get clear? Right on his tail is Serafini. He's clear now, Greg. North Melbourne badly needing a goal as he drives the ball up there, but there's too many Fitzroy players around. A good mark to Keys. Drives the ball back now towards that half-back line. At the back is Wilson, but not good enough that time, and a good mark taken by Baker. North Melbourne badly needing a goal at the moment. 50 points Fitzroy to North Melbourne 17. Out it goes there, looking there for Earls, and Blight tipped them all and out of bounds, about 50 metres around from the North Melbourne goal.
Lou, since quarter time, the scores have been Fitzroy 5-5, North Melbourne 4 points.
There we go again. Over the head of the pack, North Melbourne ball, down he goes. I think it's Stan Alves to get a free kick. Yes, Alves to get a free kick, got one in the head that time. Not wasting any time, having a long shot for goal. Up it goes now, the pack fly, but it'll go through to Hanson. He plays it safe and puts it through for 1 point. So North Melbourne, 2 goals, 6-18, struggling at the moment. To Fitzroy, 7-8-50, 14 and a half minutes gone of this third quarter. Of course, these are normal quarters with time on included. Ball back into play again. Out it goes towards that half-back line. Thompson got the mark. See, they're playing with confidence now, Fitzroy. A couple of quick goals certainly lived live when the crowd have really come to life. Walls and Glendenning going, but over the top of the pack it goes. Glendenning first to get to it. Right on the boundary line, but he'll take it over, and the ball is out of bounds up towards Fitzroy's half-forward line, about 75 metres around from their goal. I think with the ball to come back into play, it'll be Robert Walls and Keenan to go for the knockout. Knocked out by Keenan, but Fitzroy backing up pretty well. We see the ball picked up now by Burns and drives it high back towards Serafini and Greg. Greg got the mark. I'll say he'd play that. No, he called play on. North Melbourne supporters not too happy about it. In goes McCarthy, having a bit of trouble picking it up. Kicked off the ground. Up it goes now to Mark de Castle. Nearly went off the mark that time. North Melbourne trying to get this game flowing on as he kicks it a bit long, looking for life. But there we see Hanson got him well covered. Hanson got 2 against him. Nick's going after him now. And look at him skid along the ground. Well, they're playing with a ton of determination, Fitzroy. They're 50 points to North Melbourne, 18 points. The ball back into play again. Down it comes to Blight. He goes down and so does Carter. Picked up by Brown again. Got one across the back of the head that time. And he takes the free kick down there in the back pocket position.
Ryan Brown gone for a short pass to Warwick Irwin. He's on his own. Should be able to take it. He breaks away now, and Fitzroy really got the fans roaring here. Irwin's kick up to Quinlan, but he couldn't quite mark the ball over Keenan. He battles on through the pack, though. Nobody can get it out of it there. Keenan bends down, but the umpire has plucked out a free kick. It's going North Melbourne's way and will be taken by Johnny Burns. And the Fitzroy fans here, their disapproval. He's looking out there for Blight. Be a free kick. Malcolm Blight being held by Hanson tonight, although he did get a fairly hefty bump early in the game. Blight driving North Melbourne deep into attack now. The high flyer was Baker claiming the mark, but we'll wait for the umpire's decision. Free kick to Fitzroy. It's going to Smith.
Carter, I think it's Smith.
Smith. And Smith's got it right in the back pocket for the Lions now. Drives them out of danger momentarily at least. Keenan and Alexander. Keenan fits the ball forward. Taken away by Irwin. Irwin goes for long hand pass to Thompson. Here we go again. Thompson driving Fitzroy up towards the half-forward line. Gary Carlton, though, comes out and takes a very, very timely mark to steady things down for the Kangaroos and the half-back. Carlton kicks the ball out wide, looking out there for Boys, and Boys takes the mark, this time in front of Irwin. Played fairly well tonight, Boys too, for the Kangaroos. To the centre wing, the kick goes, and the safe mark is taken for Fitzroy by Keys. Peter Keys now looking for a lead up forward, decides to kick the ball long. It'll land at left half forward. Walls goes up and has the ball punched away. Here's the opportunity now for North Melbourne to clear the ball. This way they're out towards Glendenning. The hand pass comes, but he's caught. We'll wait for the umpire's decision. Free kick to Gary Wilson. And Wilson at the centre wing position will drive the Lions into attack once more. Wilson's kick. Beecroft within scoring distance. Barassi must be looking, or is very pensive. He's kicked one. Would be 45 to 50 metres out. Would need to be a pretty good kick from there. In the background, given through the boundary line. So he has angle as well as distance. Lining them up very deliberately as Bob Beecroft shoots for goal. It's going pretty close. That's not a bad kick, I tell you.
It's a goal umpire indicating that to Beecroft that steady down, and it just shows how tempers are frayed at the moment, and I'm sure Beecroft will be saying to them, have a look at the scoreboard.
That's the most important thing, and that's how it's looking for Fitzroy. 8 goals, 8.56 to North Melbourne, 2-6-18. There's the centre bounce. Alexander couldn't get across in time. Burns gets a very quick kick down there towards the half-forward line. Casson drops a mark. They're making mistakes galore, North Melbourne. Back it goes towards that half-forward line. Walls. Over it goes to Irwin, and they're back in business again. Fitzroy, Beecroft at the back. He couldn't hold that one. Going after it now. As we see Sutton going down there for a kick along the ground, actually. It comes out now. Picked up by Montgomery. A hand pass to Blight. Another one back to Montgomery. But they're not playing with any confidence at all, North Melbourne. The ball back there towards Jarrett. Punched away by Alexander. And Fitzroy get it back now over to Irwin. He's clear on that half-forward line. He'll have a shot up towards the goals. And there's a mark here to McMahon. And he'd be about 35 metres out from goal. Already kicked 2 goals. On a bit of an angle, about a 45-degree one, but at least he's a right foot and he's on the right side for that type of kick.
Almost the same position as Beecroft, Lou.
Well, he could just about put this one through, and this would certainly put North Melbourne in the hot seat because they're trailing by 38 points at the moment. And there's their coach there. He's pretty happy, I would say.
Only scored 1 point, North Melbourne, this quarter.
There's the kick by McMahon. Oh, it's not bad either, I would say. Looks to receive 1 point. A bit of bad luck that time. And the crowd are saying, oh, bad luck, because this is certainly a pro-Fitzroy crowd at the moment.
So much so, Lou, I think the crowd are trying to influence the goal.
I think they were trying to blow it through that time. Fitzroy 8-9-57 to North Melbourne 2-6-18. And we've played 20 minutes or 20 and a half minutes. The ball goes out to that half-back flank. Keenan in front of it. Darn good mark indeed under pressure. Keenan out there. But that North Melbourne forward line is non-existent at the moment. As soon as it gets down to that defensive, Fitzroy swamps it. As we see Hans at the back going with a punch and Padley right on the boundary line. He boots it down towards the forward pocket position. A good mark once again by Keenan there in defence. He stood up pretty well, Crackers. Waiting for Crackers now to get the ball moving down for North Melbourne. They're not getting it moving too well at the moment. Robert Walls has got now, he couldn't hold that one. But he's fumbling it a bit out. That's the first fumble he's had all night, I'd say. Now he's clear, hooks it back. Looking there for Wilson. Wilson picks it up on the first stop. And the ball is down there towards Beecroft, but Crackers Keenan on the way again, trying to save it. Picked up by McMahon. This spells danger. As it goes over to Padley, a shot for goal. It looks good. No, it's off target. And through for 1 point. They're really attacking now, Fitzroy. And there's Campbell jumping up, and he said, I don't know why. He's got a good lead on North Melbourne at the moment. 8 goals, 10-58. North Melbourne 2-6-18.
Ball back into play out towards half-back. Fitzroy mark, Quinlan. Now, we saw before, this fella can kick the ball the proverbial country mile. He's gone for a short pass into the pocket, though. That's successful. McCarthy. I wouldn't rate Jerry McCarthy as the most reliable kick in the world. He's kicked 1 goal so far tonight. The angle, you can see, and the distance, about 35 to 40 metres. We'll get a very good shot at this as he comes in to kick. It's on its way. I don't know about that one. No, didn't think so. 1 behind to Fitzroy. Jerry McCarthy naturally not happy with his effort. 8-11-59. Fitzroy, North Melbourne 2-6-18. And the Kangaroos this quarter have kicked only 1 point. And the official attendance tonight, 30,678. No, that's the receipts. The attendance 26,420. The pack goes up from the kick out from fullback. Fitzroy still at attack. 3 North Melbourne players there. Stephen Hicks closest to it. But the umpire Belldower comes in and decides to effect a bounce. Well, 26,000 people certainly getting their money's worth tonight. A crackerjack third quarter by Fitzroy as the match favourites North Melbourne try and battle it out. Can they save the match? Gary Wilson gets pushed over and gets 15 metres for that. Gary Carton, that wasn't very smart. Goal! Whoops! Warragoo got one for his corner. And Ron Barassi again looking daggers at a few players down there. Well, the upshot of it all was 15 metres. We've never had a report in a night match, and let's hope we don't have one. Shot for goal is what? I think he's missed it. Hit the post. 1 point. Well, Fitzroy squandering opportunities, and that takes the Lions now to 8-12-60, leading North Melbourne 2-6-18. So the difference is 42 points. Fitzroy very much in command of the situation at the moment as Daryl Sutton takes the kick out from fullback. He's gone for a short pass and it's marked by Montgomery, who decides now he'll have to play on. He does so, goes straight up the ground for the Kangaroos. Blight gets a push in the back. Could have got a free kick, but not seen by the umpire. Irwin gets buffeted out of the way, but still backs into the pack and picks up the ball, or tries to get it out to Alexander. That's successful, taken by Walls. Walls is kicking towards centre half forward. Beecroft looking for somebody to give it to, goes for a long kick in towards the 10-metre square, looking for McCarthy, but behind is Henshaw. Nobody can mark the ball. Here's a chance for Fitzroy. Thompson in the shot. What's he done? It's a goal! Well, break the line in the Fitzroy box. That's Thompson's first, and the Lions go further in front. 9-12, 66, Fitzroy. North Melbourne, 2-6-18, Bob Skilton.
It's 6 goals, 6 to a point in this quarter, Pete, and that point was rushed through by Chris Hansen. There was Ron Barassi there, but it's been a magnificent effort by Fitzroy, and one has a replay of that as Alan Thompson picks the ball up, the left foot kick, hooks it around there, a magnificent goal. It's been a great effort, a great team effort by the whole Fitzroy side.
He'll have plenty to say at three-quarter time, I should imagine, Barassi at North Melbourne, because they don't even look aside at the moment. Knocked out by Alexander again, and Quinlan gets a go. And there's Irwin driving it well down towards the goals. A charge, can he mark it? Beecroft, he's got it! What a beautiful mark! He's already kicked 2 goals, and Barassi looking very unhappy at the moment, blowing out there. And, of course, he's right on the edge of the goal square and would have to fall over to miss this one. And going for his 3rd goal. Well, this will put him in a great position to come into this last quarter, because we're at the 25.5-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. Beecroft. Bang, it's through. And the Fitzroy, the ball when it gets down to that forward line of North Melbourne, the Fitzroy defence really swamps it. Alexander taking over the ruck. And the smaller Fitzroy players, Irwin. And we see McMahon, also that Thompson out there on the wing, and also little Wilson doing a grand job for them. And the back line standing up to anything that North Melbourne can put forward to them. Back to the centre again. Just a minute how many more goals Fitzroy can get before this quarter runs out. I bet North Melbourne would wish it was over. Keenan getting down low to go against Alexander. Light coming off and up, what's going on the ground. Knocked out that time. It's finally picked up by Irwin again, doing a great job down to Robert Walls. Punched away by Glendenning. Montgomery trying to get clear. Gets a hand pass out to Schimmelbusch. Kicks have been scarce for him today. He's been well covered by Keys. As we see Glendenning drive it well over that half-forward line. Brown couldn't make the mark. And there's a pile up here, and the umpire's going to ball it up at centre half-forward for North Melbourne. By golly, the North Melbourne players will get a surprise with the ball going down. They haven't seen it much this quarter down there, the forwards. Alexander back there again. The backers break of Alexander gets the tap down, staying out there. We see a hand pass come out now. And Wilson picks it up nicely, hooks the ball back towards the wing position. The ball's going after the umpire's found a free kick. And the free kick will go back here. Glendenning gets the free kick and he drives it up towards that half-forward line. Getting up high as Casson couldn't hold the mark. It comes down to Jarrett. A hand pass over to Baker. Baker boots it high. Looking up there for McCann, but he can't get near the ball. The ball's on the ground now. Finally picked up as a free kick for Keys for one on the back, and he takes that midway between fullback and centre half-back. They're doing a great job, that defence of Fitzroy's. Boys in front. Thompson getting clear. Another long hand pass. This looks like danger. As we see Bernie Quinlan to go for a long kick here, I should imagine. Look at this kick. It's a magnificent kick looking for Beecroft. Subbed at the back, goes for the punch. Out it goes towards that forward line, half-forward flank position, and the ball is out of bounds. Fitzroy applying tremendous pressure on the North Melbourne team. 72 points, Fitzroy to North Melbourne, 18 points, 28 minutes gone. They're fumbling as we see the ball pushed out again by Robert Walls. He's in trouble now, picked up by Netterfold. A hand pass to Glendenning. They're trying to do everything, North Melbourne, to get clear, but they can't. Baker's got a mark. He gives a wild hand pass, a bad one out to Alexander. They're rattled completely as the ball comes over to Quinlan again. He steps around Sutton, gets a hand pass back, but he goes after himself. He'll go for a long kick. Up it goes towards the full forward zone. Coming out is Robert Walls. Down he goes. In goes McCarthy. He's clear. Has the goal coming up. Yes, sir. Hit the post. By golly, that's a bit of bad luck. Well, Fitzroy doing as they like at the moment. 10-13, 73 to North Melbourne. 2 goals, 6-18. Even though it's becoming whatever it is again. Watch McCarthy go after it. Had the chance of a lifetime here. Got plenty of time to come around too. He runs around his opponent pretty easy that time. Then hooks and hits the post.
Sutton taking the kick out from fullback for North Melbourne. Iron fans at this stage are very, very confident indeed. Wilson, a hand passes to Padley. Padley in towards full forward. Sutton goes up and takes a beautiful mark in front of Beecroft. Judged that particularly well, Daryl Sutton. Will have to kick over the mark though. Beecroft standing right on it at the present time. Time on being played in the 3rd quarter, which has been all Fitzroy's. He's certainly hugging the boundary line. McMahon goes up. Padley, Carlton can't pick it up. He's got an attack of the fumbles and eventually gets bundled out of the way. very close to the boundary line. Jarrett has to go for a hand pass. What's the decision? Free kick, which he takes by way of a hand pass and gets it over to Carlton. Carlton's gone for a short pass in towards Keith Gregg. Gregg's in all sorts of trouble. Free kick to North Melbourne, though. Will be taken by Gregg. At right half back for the North Melbourne side. Keith Gregg now must be a very worried skipper. He's gone for a hand pass to Montgomery. Montgomery now to drive North Melbourne into attack, and that's been a rarity for them this quarter. Baker got very high, but the ball knocked away from Smith, or by Smith. Ells for North Melbourne in towards left half forward. Big fellas set themselves. Keys. There's a free kick over there. Is it pushing the back? Yes. Fitzroy's will be taken down there by Peter Keys. At left half back for the Lions. Well, Fitzroy have done everything right this quarter. And Keys now to the centre wing position. Quinlan from behind the pack goes for a hand pass to Irwin. Irwin's clear, but can he pick up the ball? Does so beautifully. Have to kick it quickly. Drives Fitzroy deep into attack now. Warwick Irwin looking for Robert Walls. Conlon's there also for Fitzroy. Carlton comes in for North Melbourne.
Siren.
Didn't hear the siren, I must admit, because of the roar of the crowd and a slight disagreement between Carlton and Conlon at three-quarter time. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. What a sensational quarter from Fitzroy. 10-13, 73 Fitzroy, leading North Melbourne 2-6-18. So in that term, Fitzroy kicked 7 goals, 8. The North Melbourne 1 point, and that was rushed.
Good point for Fitzroy.
Well, here we go for the final quarter. Can Fitzroy take out the premiership? Ball into play, knocked forward for North Melbourne, but taken away by Alexander. It was kicking the Lions out of danger, out towards the centre wing position, and a race for the ball here. Almost picked up by Montgomery, but he had an attack of the fumble, so decides to suck it off the ground instead, and he's put it over the line on the full. And we'll see a penalty free kick going down there to, let's see, well, must have been a Fitzroy player. As Montgomery's got the free kick, must have been McMahon. So Montgomery now driving North Melbourne into attack. Boys got one hand to it, so did Baker, but they couldn't take the ball in. Quinlan goes for a hand pass for Fitzroy out towards Wilson, but Wilson's right on the boundary line. Hits it blind over his head, and it's intercepted by Boys. Boys' kick is a high one. It'll land right on the centre wing position. No mark paid by the umpire. Huppert tries to go through and gets a free kick because he was tackled too high. Keith Gregg will give it back to him, and Huppert's now wasting no time to drive the Kangaroos into attack. He's gone for a short pass to Burns, but he couldn't take it. This allows Irwin to come in uncontested and pick the ball up well. And Fitzroy, will they continue on from the third quarter? Walls had 3 opponents on him on that occasion. And Carlton goes for a hand pass, gets it out in the, well, he picks it up again on the way back through Casson. His kick up towards the centre wing. Quinlan, one hand, and backing up well as Alexander. Alexander with a short kick in towards Irwin. It's all Fitzroy at the moment. McCarthy tries to go through and gets caught with the ball, and the umpire says it was held, and it will be a North Melbourne free kick to be taken at centre half back by Keith Gregg. Gregg to drive the Kangaroos into attack. They'll be looking for some very quick goals. Baker has the ball knocked away from him. Peter Keys comes out, and he's played a magnificent game tonight. Keys, Smith, the hand pass is wild, out towards Alexander. Baker tries to go through, but he didn't have the ball. Keith Gregg for North Melbourne, the dual Brownlow medalist. Let's see what he can do. Into the half-forward line for the Kangaroos now. Almost a mark to Hanson, but not paid by the umpire. Thompson, a little kick in towards the half-back line. Should be marked down there. It has been. The hand pass is over to Wilson, and Fitzroy are clear once more as they have an attack of the fumbles through Thompson.
Thompson can't get it clear. Going after it now is Schimmelbusch. Taps it out to Baker. Baker picks it up nicely, but it's a bad hand pass. Quinlan goes for a kick off the ground, and we see Burns coming out of the pack from the centre part of the field. It's a hand pass to Carlton. He fumbles. They're making mistakes, North Melbourne. Burns again is clear. It's a wild hand pass out to Glendenning, but he's clear, this fellow. He'll boot it well down towards the full forward zone. But they can't take marks down there as the ball is pushed away. Gregor Keenan going after it. Having trouble with his ribs. It's finally knocked over now to Wick. A snapshot for goal. And it's for Elves going up for the mark, but they're battling up, and there's Hanson taking away, showing confidence. They bounce the ball, he's fumbled it, but it won't go away from him. He picks it up nicely and takes it away from the danger zone, and we see the mark taken here by Boys. It's battled pretty hard for North Melbourne tonight, and they haven't had many battlers tonight, I'll tell you that for sure. Ball punched away from Keenan, picked up here now, a snapshot for goal, and we see Huppert put it up towards the goals and put it out of bounds on the full. And the crowd are going mad here. They're certainly a pro-Fitzroy crowd, I'll tell you that now. If there's 26,000 here, there must be 25,000 barrack for Fitzroy. Ball back into play again. Out it comes to that half-back flank position. There's Smith getting up and just about grabbed that. I was thinking he's going to pay it. By God, it's a strong one. This defence has played a great game tonight. They've all covered their men pretty well, and now they're starting to attack. Ball goes out there towards Quinley, gets upended, and the umpire is going to play a flick. I think Bernie might have staged a bit at that time, but he's got the free kick, and when you're hot, and that's what Fitzroy are at the moment. There's 79 points to North Melbourne, a measly 18 points as the ball goes up there and applause once again in front of Glendenning, takes a mark. He's been a great player tonight. He really played well when Fitzroy needed him in the early part of the match. And a pass coming out there to Beecroft, and the umpire said he was pushed in the back, or what's the free kick going to Beecroft? And he'd be within kicking distance, about 45 metres out from goal. Already kicked 3. See what he can do with it. If your luck's in, you usually pop these through. He runs, he's going to be a smarty pants now, run around his opponent Sutton that time, have a snapshot for goal. And he's put it out of bounds on the full of the penalty free kick. Will go to North Melbourne down there in the back pocket.
Penalty free kick to North, and still they haven't scored a goal since the 3-minute mark, or 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter. So it certainly hasn't been the best North Melbourne performance tonight. It makes you wonder, really, when you think that Fitzroy on the bottom and North Melbourne are clear leaders on the top. Alexander! Great mark from the former West Australian, and has a chance to put Fitzroy further in front. He could score from there, would be about 50 metres out from goal. Hasn't scored one tonight, but he's done some pretty heavy work in the ruck. That won't be a score. In fact, it'll be out of bounds, and we'll see a boundary throw-in to take place, or some 25 metres around from the behind post. Well, North Melbourne certainly had quite a few players down on form tonight, but let's give full credit to their Fitzroy opponents. McCann and Beecroft go up in the ruck. Beecroft taps it down, but he's got under the shoulder of his North Melbourne opponent, and Stephen McCann will take the resulting free kick from the fullback position. Beecroft standing on the mark. He's gone straight up the centre, looking for Casson, who doesn't let him down and takes the mark in front of Padley. He's gone for a hand pass over to Montgomery. Montgomery driving North Melbourne over the centre line, giving the opportunity to Greg, who's in front of Serafini. Goes for a long hand pass, looking for Ray Huppatz. Huppatz is clear, gets it back to his skipper Greg. Greg trying to break away and open up the forward line. He's looking for a lead, decides to centre the ball, looking for Baker and Keenan, but Smith has the ball first, but it's knocked away. The hand pass is wild, going over in the direction of Baker, who trips over. Free kick going to Fitzroy, and it will be taken by Russell Hodges. Hodges now from halfback. Got the very heavy knock in the second quarter, I think it was, but has recovered completely from that. Serafini from behind takes the mark. Ori Serafini, Greg on the mark, up towards the centre. We're looking for Walls, who's on his own. Glendenning had to move downfield. And Walls just that couple of yards away from him, and that was all he needed. Robert Walls must be very close to best on the ground, although Fitzroy have had a number of good players. Kick to right half forward. Quinlan punches the ball away. Henshaw for North Melbourne can't get it clear of the pack. The umpire watching things very closely, and he decides to come in and effect a bounce. Out of sight of the ground. Last quarter, been in progress some 6.5 minutes now. Quinlan got high on the ruck. Let's see who can get it clear. He goes for a little kick out in the direction of Conlon. Comes to Henshaw. Picked up by Montgomery. Montgomery's kick out towards Keith Gregg, but I think it's over the line on the floor. In fact, it is. Well, North Melbourne can't do a thing right tonight, and the free kick will be taken for Fitzroy by Bernie Quinlan, who kicked a magnificent goal earlier in the match from about 70 metres out.
Well, I don't think he can kick it from here, but by golly, if he gets onto it, he could put it well down in the teeth of goals. Old super boot himself. There's the kick. It's not a bad, so one falls a bit short at the final stage. As the pack fly, they're all having a bit of a go to try and get it out. Finally, a hand pass comes out. There's a chance now for McCarthy, a running shot for goal, but it's off target, and it's through for 1 point. So they go to 10 goals, 14, 74 Fitzroy. To North Melbourne, 2-6-18 at the 7.5-minute mark of this last quarter. The grand final of the Amco-Herald Cup of 1978, brought to you live by Channel 7. And we see a short pass from Netterfall right across the face of goals. They're desperate, North Melbourne. Henshaw takes the mark, getting it around there towards the wing position. The ball punched away by Boys. Backing up well as Keys. He's upended. Picked up by Casson now. Still trying pretty hard to get that ball up towards the goals, but it's out of bounds on the full. They can't do a thing right, North Melbourne. Cannot do a thing right. Free kick going here now to Smith. Smith out there on the wing, getting it up towards the wing half-forward line. McCarthy, he's doing pretty well tonight too, and takes a great mark till he went off the mark. Now he's going to have a go now and get it up there towards Beecroft, but the umpire's calling him back again. And what's happening? Free kick going to North Melbourne, is it? Must be. It'll be Henshaw, I think, to take the free kick out there on North Melbourne's half-back line. All the sting gone out of North Melbourne. Not about that, Bob.
North Melbourne coming back tonight, Lou. Their disposal's poor because they're continually being put under pressure, and you mentioned before you can't take a thing away from Fitzroy.
There's Patley getting that one from Wilson up towards Beecroft. He's got the mark. Now he should run around the mark this time. He should have a go because he's only about 15 metres out and he's already kicked 3.
North Melbourne still haven't scored since that 3.5-minute mark in the first quarter, and that's unbelievable.
Well, that's a great credit to the defence of Fitzroy. They've played tight football and had their star players collared. The kick by Beecroft, the V is off and it's through from the half-forward line for Fitzroy. It'll be a free kick or it'll be a throw-in from that half-forward flank position about 50 metres around from the goal. McCarthy missed that one altogether and gave a push in the back. And the free kick will go to
Nettlefold.
No, it's going to go to McCann. McCann to take the free kick there at half-back for North Melbourne. They can't get it past their half-forward line, North Melbourne. There we see Alexander having a knockout. Going through his boys, still battling pretty hard, but he lost that one, picked up by Conlon. And Fitzroy are clear again. He goes for a pass, and it's a good one. It's a mark. There's a bit of a fight going on behind play, but we see McMahon with the mark down there about 45 to 50 metres out. A short pass, that's a good one. Whilst they're fighting down there, we see Irwin with the ball now, only about 25 to 30 metres out from goal. He's yet to kick a goal. 75 points to Fitzroy to North Melbourne 18. He's got a chance of putting a goal on the board. The kick is pretty good, and it's right through the middle. Fitzroy really firing at the moment. Fitzroy 11-15, 80 points to North Melbourne 2-6-18, 11.5 minutes gone of this last quarter.
Quinlan fisting the ball away to McMahon. McMahon's gone for a long hand pass. Could put Walls under trouble, but he gets out of it pretty readily. Robert Walls back to Irwin, who's played a magnificent game for Fitzroy. He's hotly pursued down there by Montgomery. Montgomery battling his heart out down there for the Kangaroos, but the umpire comes in and decides to ball it up, I think. Rodley sorts that mess out down there. Players all over the place. Irwin's the last to get up with the ball. I don't think it's his free kick. Warwick Irwin naturally would be hoping. But it's Bill Douglas. Ball up right in the Fitzroy forward pocket. Montgomery, Grubber, out towards Moylan. He's got two opponents to contend with there. One of them's McMahon, who picks it up well. The kicker's well smothered. Still North Melbourne in trouble. Here's Schimmelbusch, who's been very quiet tonight for North Melbourne. Schimmelbusch driving North Melbourne up towards the centre wing, and he finds Stan Alves, who takes a very smart mark in front of Brian Brown. Alves now the right half forward for North Melbourne. No mark, off the hands of all the players, and we'll see a boundary throw in to take place just wide of the players' interchange area. Once again, the scoreboard here playing up at VFL Park. It's gone a little bit haywire, but we won't worry about it for the time being. Alexander doing battle with Glendinning down there on the ruck duels. Quinlan goes for a hand pass. It's taken by Conlon. Here goes Fitzroy again. Conlon's clear. He's got no player within 5 metres of him. Going up the centre half forward, looking for Padley, who knocks the ball over his head, but it's taken by Henshaw. Henshaw's kick is a wild one. Doesn't really achieve much except puts the ball over the line, beating all players. Nettlefold just about got there. But once more, we'll see a boundary throw in. Fitzroy left half forward. Robert Walls sitting himself in the ruck duels. Let's see what happens here. Walls goes up, punches the ball down. Montgomery's first to get to it again for North. Still battling his heart out on the half-back line. And Ken Montgomery, 3 Fitzroy players go up. And the mark has been brought down for them by Keys. He waits no time either to centre half forward, looking for McCarthy. The ball knocked away from him into the hands of Serafini, the 2 number 10. That's Hubbard's. McCarthy's in there again and goes over. Umpire watching it very closely, but once again, we'll see a ball up. 11-15, 81 Fitzroy. North Melbourne 2-6-18.
It's about, let's see, about 50 metres out from the Fitzroy goal. McCann gets the knockout. Then it comes to Hubbard. It's a hurried kick back towards centre field. Going after it now, we see the ball knocked out towards Glendinning. It's finally picked up by Fitzroy again. It's Thompson going for a pass. It's a good one, and a mark taken here by McCarthy. McCarthy at half forward, quickly playing on. It's a bad kick. Oh, he dropped an easy one, Casson, that time. Sutton's grabbed, he couldn't get clear. Beecroft goes in pretty hard. They're all having a bit of a dip now as the ball is driven out by Montgomery. Back out there towards Keith Gregg. He's upended that time by Serafini. He'll get a free kick just about at centre half back. Actually, Keith Gregg's batting pretty hard tonight, Bob, for North Melbourne.
There's been one lion-hearted try, Lou. He's been busy attempting to lift his side right throughout.
North Melbourne getting it out to that half-forward line. Glenn Denning down there. Down goes Hanson to push in the back against Jarrett, and he takes the free kick at half-back. There's Alexander coming up easily. They're just doing as they like out there. Fitzroy at the moment. Conlon got it now. Back towards the half-forward line. Coming out as Henshaw going for the punch, then try to grab it. Pushes it out once again. Gregg backing up well, takes it away from the danger zone. Ball punched over the head by Elves that time. Grabbed by Glenn Denning and driven down towards the full forward zone. Can Baker mark it? Yes, he's got it. And a chance to kick their first goal. 6-1 at the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. 3.5-minute mark, actually. He's only about 35 metres out, and the crowd getting in the raspberry as he fires. The kick, well, it certainly worked a bit because he's kicked the point. Well, I've never known a crowd to be so one-sided in my life in all the years I've followed football, Bob. I'm not kidding on this.
Well, Lou, when a team's been as successful as North Melbourne have, this is what happens. And when you consider that Fitzroy have lost 6 games by less than a goal this year, well, you know, it's not hard to see why the crowd are with them.
Oh, good mark.
Keys has been a great player, Lou.
Well, he's been a great player. He's had the job of tagging Schimmelbusch, and he's put him right out of business. A hand pass coming over now to Hanson, juggling the ball, making hard work of it, but they've certainly got this game well bottled up at the moment. We see Irwin go over the line on that half-forward line for North Melbourne. It's about 75 metres around from their goal. Waiting now for the umpire to bring the ball back into play. In front there is McCann, but knocked out by Alexander. Then it comes again to Jarrett, but he can't get through. They've had trouble. It finally comes out to Keys, over to Conlon again. Back towards that half-back line. Punched away by Gregg, but well backed up by Brian Brown. He shoots it back towards Walls in front. Punched away by Moylan. Punched away again by McMahon. Out towards Thompson. On there on the half-forward line. Gets a hurried kick down there towards the forward pocket position. There's a chance now for Wilson. Hand pass out to McCarthy. He's clear. Running shot for goal. And what's the result? Pretty good. That's a goal.
In the back line.
Fitzroy, 12 goals, 15-87 to North Melbourne, 2-7-19, and we've played 17 minutes of this last quarter of the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup.
Conlon can't get the ball out of the pack, assisted by Serafini. Big pack of players developing, and umpire Bill Della will effect another bounce, only some 15 metres away from the centre circle. Quinlan, number 5. Alexander taps the ball over to Quinlan, went over his head though. Boys tries to get rid of it when tackled. So North Melbourne now through Jarrett go forward. He drives the Kangaroos up towards centre forward. Ball off the hands of the players. Huppatz gets a push in the back by Brown. Nettlefold very close to the boundary line. He's hotly pursued by Hanson, the 2 bearded players. The umpire has picked out a free kick. It's going to Hanson. Hanson now right on the boundary line, met the stand side of the ground, and Chris Hanson driving the Lions up towards the centre wing position. Mark Pate out there, is it? Yes, he's going to play it to Stephen McCann in front of Alexander. And McCann now to kick North Melbourne into attack. Good torpedo punt kick. It's 2 Fitzroy to 1 North Melbourne. Out of the pack comes Carter. Watt Carter, he's done a very good job of fullback tonight, standing in for Harvey Merrigan. They all misjudged that one. McMahon's first to get to it though, tries to get it away from Montgomery. Conlon can't take it with him though, gets tackled by his opposite number 12 in Montgomery. A hand passes back to the speedy Warwick Irwin. Irwin now goes for a hand pass to McCarthy again, who lines them up once more. Now he's gone from pass to Beecroft. And he's got it in front of Sutton. And Bob Beecroft has already kicked 3. A chance to bring up goal number 4. A very acute angle. The boundary line isn't too far away from him, only about 2 or 3 metres. There it is in the wide shot. And Bob Beecroft sneaking a few yards as he comes round, has a shot for goal. He's missed this one. Off the hands of the pack, and the goal umpire says touched 1 point. And so that takes Fitzroy to 12-16-88. North Melbourne 2-7-19. And Daryl Sutton, the fullback, will take the kick out. Well, quite a few of the crowd would have expected, or I think most of the crowd expected North Melbourne to be very much in it at this stage of the night. In fact, possibly well in front, but the Lions have taken the game right up to them. McMahon can't pick it up out of that glue pot there, but goes for a long hand pass instead. Fist done by Padley. Carlton's there for North Melbourne. Casson comes in, picked up by Conlon, who has a shot for goal, and he's put it through. 94 Fitzroy leading North Melbourne 2-7-19, 20 and a half minutes gone in the final quarter.
I'll tell you what, the hardest job we're going to have tonight to pick Fitzroy's best player, because they're all playing well. It goes towards Wilson, but a good mark taken there. No, he didn't play the mark to Henshaw. Picked up by Cowden. The hand pass over to Casson. Casson getting the ball wide out towards that wing position, but there's Hodges in the way to take the mark at the back of Alves that time. But, the kicks have been scarce down there for the North Melbourne forwards. Out it goes. The mark taken out here by Padley. Going for a short pass, but Greg, lovely mark. And this fella's given his all tonight. He's really played well for North Melbourne. And the rest of the side haven't been really going well. The ball back now. They're all flying. There's too many Fitzroy players. There'll be a free kick. The free kick to go to Hodges again. Out there on the wing position this time. A little further up towards the Fitzroy goal. Looking for Robert Walls. He's surrounded by plenty of players. Kicked off the ground by Padley up towards Condell and Henshaw. Henshaw's down. He can't get up. Kicked off the ground again by McCarthy. Going after it now is Montgomery. And carts the ball out of bounds. Out of bounds up towards the Fitzroy forward pocket position. About 30 metres around from their goal. They're 94 points to North Melbourne 19. They haven't scored a goal since the 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter. Pickett goes there and we see Casson go down pretty heavily and the umpire said it's out of bounds. They're going in very hard. They're a very enthusiastic side, Fitzroy. They're not making a close one of this tonight because they've lost about 6 games this year, very close ones. Henshaw over to Ick. Ick goes for a pass. It's all right, and Boys has got the mark out there on the half-back line. All the sting's gone out of the game at the moment because Fitzroy are doing it very easy as we see Schimmelbusch take one of his few marks for the day, or the night, and he gets a hand pass over to Glenn Denning. He should have a running shot for goal. If he's smart, he has a long boot for the goal, and what's the result? But he's up target and through for 1 point, so they still can't score a goal from that 3.5-minute mark in the first quarter, and they go to 2 goals, 8-20. To North Melbourne 13-6, Fitzroy 13-16, 94 at the 22.5 minute.
So Padley off to North Melbourne for Fitzroy.
On the ground is Peter Brown. Ball pushed out by Keys. He's done a great job. Well, he could go right through the Fitzroy side. The entire back line's been great. Irwin's played a magnificent game since half-time, and Alexander hasn't stopped. And of course, Robert Walls, when they were really struggling the first part of the game, he was a magnificent centre-half forward, battling well all day. There's a free kick going to Keys. Talk about him, he's really battled hard. He's probably win the We Try Hard award, this guy, Bob, I'd say. Ball back now towards the half-back line. And Nick getting up high, but he wasn't good enough on a mark taken here by Serafini. A hand pass over there to Wilson. Wilson gets it back looking for Walls off the top of the pack. McMahon backing up pretty well. But plenty of time to do something with it, but it's a bad hand pass. In goes Keith Grigg, still battling his hardest. Full marks to me, hasn't given up one bit. Setting the captain's example there, but the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing position. 22.5 minutes gone, or 23 minutes gone of this last quarter. 94 points, Fitzroy to North Melbourne, 20 points. The ball comes back in now. Wick trying to battle out to get it. He's in plenty of trouble as he gives a hand pass over to McCann. McCann gets it back, but once again Keys is in the way. Gets it back, and a mark taken here by Montgomery at half-back for North Melbourne.
Ken Montgomery now to relieve the pressure for the Northerners momentarily into the centre of the ground, and here they go. They're going forward. Kick forward by Huppert. Huppert's kick in towards centre-half forward. Baker comes out, shepherded by Glenn Dinning. And Phil Baker just can't get his hand on the ball. There's Glenn Dinning again. They go for a hand pass at Jarrett. Jarrett in towards the right forward pocket, but it beats all players. A poor pass, really. And we'll see a boundary throw in to take place on 25 metres around from the behind post. North Melbourne in attack, and that's been a rarity since the first 5 minutes of the game. Ruckman setting themselves. Hansen goes up, knocks the ball down to Wilson. That was good ruck work. Gary Wilson gets pushed in the back by Billy Nettlefold, and naturally he'll get the free kick. Now, if somebody said Fitzroy would be more than 70 points in front of North Melbourne at this stage of the night, you wouldn't believe them. You'd call the police fair dinkum. But they've played brilliant football. Boundary throw once more. Alexander and Alves just next to the players in the change area. Very close to the time-on period of the final quarter, and fans sensing a Fitzroy victory. Knocked down to Boys, but it's knocked away from him and turned back to Alexander over to Wilson, who fished the ball forward to Fitzroy once more up to Thompson. And Thompson now is clear. He kicks Fitzroy in towards their left half-forward or half-forward flank. Casson with the ball for North Melbourne, gets the free kick and decides to play on straight away. Casson into the centre of the ground, safe mark to Irwin. Irwin in turn over to Wilson once more, the two Fitzroy small stars. Carlton doing battle with McCarthy. Free kick going to Carlton against McCarthy. And Gary Carlton from centre-half back to drive North Melbourne forward now. The drop punt kick lands just wide of the centre of the ground. Here's a chance for Chris Smith. He's on his own. Burns comes in for the Kangaroos. Linton back on the ground for Fitzroy. Dives on top of the ball, can't get it out of the pack. They're all trying to have a go. Hubbard's eventually for North Melbourne picks up. Drive the Kangaroos in towards the full forward zone. Punched away from all players, but it comes out... oh, by golly, they're all having an attack of the fumbles there. The hand passes to Wells. Elf has a shot for goal for North Melbourne and has put it out of bounds on the full. And I guess that typifies North Melbourne's forward efforts tonight. So the score is 2-8-20 North Melbourne. Fitzroy 13-16-94 as we are now into the time-on period. Hansen
taking that penalty free kick, and it's the 1978 Amco-Herald Premiership for Fitzroy for sure. As we see Alexander getting it out. He taps it over to Wilson, but they're doing it easy, Fitzroy. Even though Wilson's making hard work of this, but it doesn't matter. Alexander backs up well. He's played a darn good game too. Over to Thompson, another hand pass coming over now to Aaron. Been a sensation since half-time, and as a matter of fact, he only had 2 kicks up till that third time of the match. Over to Quinn, another long hand pass coming back, and there we see Peter Brown having a running shot for goal. And it's through for 1 point. So Fitzroy go to 13 goals, 17-95 to North Melbourne. 2 goals, 8-20 at the 26.5-minute mark of this last quarter, and still North Melbourne yet to score a goal from that 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter.
I think they might have them now, Lou.
I'd say that was pretty right, Bob. I'd like to bet my Bogarts on that. Ball back into play again. There's Campbell going down the ground. He knows that his side has this victory in the bag, and a short pass coming over to Wilson now in that half-forward flank position. Another pass, and there's Irwin. Through the good work of Alexander, these small players have really bobbed up since half-time. They really broke away in the third quarter. Irwin looking there for McCarthy, and he's got the mark down there in the forward pocket.
Lou, it's been Walls that set the whole thing up, though. His first half, and he's carried it on right throughout. And, Walls has been a great player tonight. Great player.
Certainly been, it must be very enlightening for Fitzroy to have this player playing well now because, after all the trouble to get him. And finally McCarthy fires. And he's put it through for 1 point. And at the 27.5-minute mark, we see Fitzroy 13-18-96 to North Melbourne 2-8-20. And, of course, they're certainly now to be the champs of 1978 for the Amco-Herald Cup. It's been a very disappointing performance by the top side of the league, North Melbourne, because they've been put out of business since the word go. The ball knocked out, picked up here by Hassan over to Henshaw, gets one in the back, and he'll take the free kick down there on that half-back line. Henshaw kicking the ball back there. Hickett in the front, but Quinlan's a bit too tall. Couldn't grab the mark, but there we see Boys trying his hardest to get the ball back towards their half-forward line. But once again, coming up there as Brian Smith gets a wild kick up towards the wing position. Picked up by Thompson. He gets upended that time by Casson, but the ball is out of bounds on the centre wing. There's a siren at the end. And the 1978 champions in the Amco-Herald Cup Championships. 13 goals, 18-96, defeating North Melbourne. 2 goals, 8-20.
What an incredible match. North Melbourne kicked 2 goals in the first 3.5 minutes. And it must have been 1,000,000 to 1 that they will be the only goals they would score for the match. Very jubilant. Graham Campbell, Bernie Quinlan will be having the presentation shortly as the crowd streams onto the field. But let's take this break from the studios, and we'll be back very shortly for the presentation of the 1978 Amco-Herald Cup. There you can see the final scores, and in the centre of the screen, the dais on which the presentation will be made shortly. But I see in the top right-hand corner of the order, there's Graham Campbell. Some of the Fitzroy players are doing a victory lap, followed by hordes of supporters. Very good to see. A very colourful finish to what's been a tremendously successful series, gentlemen. And just while we have the opportunity, I think we might see if we can check through our best players for the night for the award.
Looking at the best players, or do you want just the straight TV winner first, Peter?
Well, I thought, Fitzroy had so many good players, Bob, it was difficult. There was Alexander, Irwin, Walls, Quinlan played a very good game.
Not to mention Wilson, the whole defence, when you look at Keys, Smith, Brown, Hansen, or Bruce Brown in the first half when the real pressure was on, continually kept North out. But I really felt it was Robert Walls who set things up for Fitzroy.
Early on, yes, especially.
He led led everywhere on the ground in the first half. He forced North Melbourne to put Glendenning to centre half back. And although Glendenning did quieten Walls for a while, Walls was always in Glendenning to punch the ball down. And And then when they took Glendenning away, Walls came back into the game with some good handball. And Walls, was easily my best player.
Well, you see, Warwick played a magnificent second half, but in the first half, I think Warwick only had 2 kicks. And, of course, he was instrumental in that great burst in the third quarter. He played a tremendous third quarter, and Burnley Quinlan played a great game. But I thought the Fitzroy defence were magnificent, and the fellow that impressed me very much was number 38, Keys. He had the job of minding Schimmelbusch. Not only did he put him out of business, but he started to collect a lot of kicks himself and became a very good player.
You think he might be the Avis We Try Harder?
I think he'd get the Avis We Try Harder award for sure, because I think everyone agrees on that. But when you look at Smith, he battled hard, and so did Hanson do a good job down there, and everyone did a good job, as a matter of fact, in defence for Fitzroy.
Well, you spoke about the defence of Fitzroy. Off the boot, let's allow for the fact that 3 of North Melbourne's 8 points were rushed by Fitzroy. Off the boot, North scored 2-1 in the first quarter, 2 points in the second quarter, nothing in the third quarter, and 2 points in the last quarter. That's actually off the boot of a North Melbourne player. So that's a fair example of just how well that the Fitzroy defence did perform.
Let's say this too. We've been giving plenty of praise to Fitzroy, but I think we should give a little bit of praise to the North Melbourne skipper, Keith Gregg. He tried his darndest, and even though he was against long odds, he still kept on going. 4 marks to Keith Gregg.
Greg Keenan and Glendenning.
Right, the Fitzroy players are just arriving at the dais, so we'll have the presentation after this break. Making his presentation.
Mr. Gary Wilson to come forward, and I'll present to him the cup.
On behalf of the Fitzroy Football Club, I'm very proud to accept this. It was a fantastic night. The crowd was with us tonight. It was great, and I hope this is the start of better things for Fitzroy for 1978. I think we should win 11 in a row from now on and be in the final 5 this year. Thank you.
Well, there it was, a very jubilant Gary Wilson replying to the VFL president, Dr. Alan Aylett. There's the Fitzroy coach, Graham Campbell, holding the cup aloft for press photographers, Ron Alexander in the background, and Fitzroy players very, very happy tonight with their victory. And Lou, as I said before, who would have suggested that Fitzroy would topple last year's premiers and league leaders North Melbourne by, what was it, 76 points?
76 points, and I think the worst part about it, Peter, was the fact that North Melbourne couldn't score a goal from the 3.5-minute mark of the first quarter. And, OK, a lot of people thought Fitzroy may have won this match tonight because of their form in the night football, but no one thought that the great North Melbourne side and the leaders of this year's premiership so far in the league ladder would go down so easily, and it was a bit of a shock to everyone. And we've had plenty of excitement at three-quarter time here when the crowd were cheering Ron Barassi or jeering him, and of course coming up to his coach's box position, he gave the crowd an answer back too, and it certainly brought the crowd to life. But that's all part of football. Let's take this break and we'll be back after.
The dressing room is one of pandemonium at the moment, and all the guys are very, very happy down there. So I think we might go down to Jack Edwards, and Jack will make the presentation for us of the best player and for the Avis We Try Harder award. Thanks, Jack.
Okay.
We're still here. They must have pinched his microphone, I think.
Well, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread for Fitzroy, isn't it?
I wonder if Jack's ready for us yet. We can hear them in the background, all they're singing.
Well, I'm trying to get hold of Graham Campbell at present. He's just there having a drink, and as you can hear, as you can hear by the noise around here, it's quite evident, you all know by now, that Fitzroy have won the Amco-Herald night premiership. Graham Campbell, congratulations.
What do you say?
Well, first,
is that working?
It is working.
Right.
If you can hear over the noise. Graham, did you ever think that you could hold North Melbourne goalless for so long in a game of football?
No, of course not, Jack. That'd be stupid to say. Make a comment like that. I think it would be the comment of an arrogant winner, and I don't want to be that way. I'd like to be gracious in victory and humble in defeat, and I've had plenty of humbleness this year. Don't worry about that.
Well, the two players you purchased this year are Walls and Quinlan. Happy?
Well, you know, Jack, they've taken 3 or 4 weeks to hit their straps, and that's understandable. Neither player had much training in 1978, and you just can't come to a new club and take over. But tonight, magnificent, both players. A credit to themselves, and you know, I hope we've turned the corner now.
You told me at half-time you wanted more out of Beecroft.
Well, that's a pretty fair comment, I think. And after half-time was there, Jack. Probably, you know, helped a little because Glendinning was taken from him. Nevertheless, that was Ron's decision, and I think it just gave Bobby Beecroft a height advantage over players that were down there against him in the last half.
I know you don't like singling out players. You must agree it was a great team effort.
Well, I would like to single out a few players. You've mentioned our 2 imports. I'd like to mention Warwick Irwin particularly. Dave McMahon for his tremendous fighting qualities and the way he brought in after the ball. Alan Thompson did a good job in the winging when I brought him on the ground. And Peter Coos in the half-back flank. I'd probably go on all night, and that's the way it is. When you're on fire, Jack, and I don't want to strut around the place because we've won so easily, but we couldn't seem to do anything wrong tonight.
How long do you think it'll take to get the smile off your face?
Oh, no, I'm trying hard to be, you know, keep my feet in the ground because we've had a hard time this year at Fitzroy, and I've had a hard time. A lot of letters from supporters and so forth, and it's hard to phone up at Channel 7 every Sunday when you've been defeated and try and keep a smile on your face. So I'll try very hard to, as I said before, be a little bit gracious in victory.
Well, you'll be happy to know that Robert Walls has won the Canberra television set for this evening, and Keys has won the We Try Hard.
I didn't know that. I was talking at the top of my head, as you know, but that's a fine choice.
Robert Walls?
That's a fine choice, Jack, and by gee, you know, Robert Walls is going to be a great player for Fitzroy in the ensuing years, and if only this can kick us up the ladder a bit next week by beating St Kilda, that's the main thought on my mind now that, OK, we've played a night game on Tuesday night out here. Let's hope we can do the same next Saturday at Moorabbin.
Well, how come you're giving starts in your day games?
Jack, you know, nobody wants to give starts, but we have been a little slow to get our game going. That's the way to put it. We all call it our game. What is our game? Run on and continual movement, sharing the ball with each other. It happened tonight and happened in large doses. And there's no reason, no rhyme or reason why we don't get away to any you know, good start over the last couple of weeks, except to, you know, to probably pay heed to the fact the other side are out there and they're doing quite well. You know, I think we tend to just think that we've got to do all the things in football that are there to be done. And we paid scant disregard to the opposition. Geelong last Saturday put it over us for half a game, but we came back, as always, the last half, got within 1 kick as usual. But they're starting to wear me out being within 1 kick, so tonight we've got our teeth into the game. I said it 3/4 time. Don't make it a 1 kick result, if nothing else. You know, let's make it at least a 2-goal win.
Well, you've proven one thing, that Lions roar at night. You've proven that convincingly.
I don't want that to be said, Jack. I've got a good little side on my hands here. All of a sudden, we all put it together at the one time, and I wouldn't like to think it's just because of the night air. I'd like to think that we have arrived in football tonight. Next Saturday, I'll tell the tale. I'm not getting carried away. League football is a very difficult world to live in, mate, and it's got me down a bit the last few weeks. And tonight, OK, we laugh a little, we drink a little champagne, and we front up to St Kilda at Moorabbin next Saturday, hopeful to do the same job.
Yes, well, I'll have Robbie Walls over here now, and the cup. Frank, would you like to bring that cup in, please? There it is. A lot of you people may not have seen it out there. If I could just put it up there.
First time I've seen Frank since the game.
Mr. Frank Vivian and Graham Campbell, the coach. Robbie Walls, can we have you, please, Rob? Congratulations, Rob. Excuse me. Thanks, Graham. Well, Rob, congratulations. You've won the Canberra Colour Television for the best player afield this evening.
Thanks, Jack.
And how does it feel to be in the Fitzroy colours instead of the old Blues that you used to play for so many years?
Oh, well, it's just so great to have won and to have won so well tonight. You know, I think the Fitzroy players, tremendous effort. One of the, you know, a great game right throughout. The first half we struggled. Nobody threw it in. They all kept in going harder and harder for the ball, and, you know, it paid off. And I think this will do us well for the rest of the season. You know, it's just a fantastic win.
I was saying to Graham before about your own form and that of Bernie Quinton, along with a lot of your other teammates. They certainly fired well, and I didn't mention to Graham about you from Carlton and Bernie from Footscray. You seem to settle in so very quickly.
Yes, well, you know, Fitzroy have been great to Bernie and I. We've come in and we came in together, and, you know, they've accepted us so well and made us feel at home, and you know, we feel as if we've been at Fitzroy for years, and just to win tonight, premiership for the club is great.
Well, I must say the way you fit into the side, Robbie, it does seem as though you've been at Fitzroy for years.
Yes, well, I'm enjoying it, and I'd like to finish off there 2 or 3 years, and I'd like to see Fitzroy make the finals now. And there's a chance, but if not this year, we'll certainly give it a good shake next year.
Thanks very much, Robbie, and once again, congratulations.
Thanks, Dick.
And now we have Peter Keys, who has won the Avis We Try Hard Award for this evening. Peter, congratulations. Now, you've come over from Melbourne, so Fitzroy have certainly made up of a combination of players from different clubs. Are you happy in your position at Fitzroy?
Yeah, very happy at the moment. Thanks, Jack. Yeah.
And what position would you prefer playing here at Fitzroy as you did at Melbourne, or have you any particular position you wish to play?
The half-back flank is really my position. That's where I like playing. That's where I've played most of my football. So I'd be happy to continue playing where I am at the moment.
Well, you're a credit to the colours you're wearing now, Peter, and I say congratulations, and not forgetting you have won the $100 for this evening, which puts you in the opportunity of winning the final, $250, and also with the trophy you get this week, 1 week's rental of an Avis rent-a-car, and if you win the big one, you get it for a month. So once again, congratulations, Peter, and now we'll cross back to Peter Landy at the main commentary position. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack. Pretty noisy down there. OK, we'll take this break and we'll come back with some of the highlights of tonight's grand final. Come out victors 96-20. Here are some of the highlights of tonight's spectacular match.
While we're watching the highlights, there's Malcolm Blight, and Malcolm Blight kicked a goal here within less than 2 minutes, and another goal came another 1 minute and 30 seconds later, and that was off the boot of Schimmelbusch. It comes here, and Schimmelbusch puts that one in, and they're the only 2 goals that North Melbourne score all night, and that was at the 3.5 minute mark of the first quarter. From then on, we saw North Melbourne score 4 points in the second quarter, 1 point in the third quarter, and 2 points in the final quarter. And nobody could have possibly foreseen a North Melbourne score like that. And it was brought about by the defence of Fitzroy, Peter Keys, who won the Avis We Try Harder Award. Brian Brown, number 2 there, who just put the ball forward. And Brown in the first half was a magnificent player in the back pocket. Died out after that, and we'll see now Bernie Quinlan. Quinlan, well, probably if ever anybody really set aside a light, it was a goal by Quinlan in the third term that went at least 70 metres, and that 70-metre goal really lifted the whole Fitzroy side. From half-time onwards, Fitzroy kicked 10 goals, 13 compared to those 3 points of Fitzroy, so they outscored them, by 10 goals, 10. There's Peter Keenan. Keenan copped a pretty solid one there, and all in all, it was a tremendous effort by Fitzroy. There's Robert Walls now. Walls right from the very start, led here, led there, all over the place, and Walls was the player who really set the pattern of play for Fitzroy.
All right, well, Ron Barassi is ready with us in the North Melbourne dressing room, so let's go and see what the North coach has to say.
Ron, just what have you got to say about the team tonight?
Well, there's nothing much one can say, is there? It's just one of those unbelievably bad exhibitions. I guess the good thing that came out of tonight was on the side of football. Football was right behind Fitzroy, and so they should be, being sort of hard luck story of this year, and it's been fantastic for them to have a run in a game like this and do exceptionally well. We just couldn't do a thing right, and they played exceptionally good football.
But how do you feel? You've had a team that's been up, mainly to your credit, for throughout the year, and now does this set you back a bit?
That for a start.
Well, a team that's been under a lot of pressure. Is this a bad setback for them?
Well, we've lost a battle tonight. There's the war is still going to go on for a few more months yet. I'd say it could be the start of a slide. And because, yeah, of course it could be. You can't play like that and not think that perhaps, heck, this could be the start. If we take the view that it could be, well, then we're going to do something quickly about it, and that's what our next few days will be about, making sure it doesn't continue, or it isn't either one of the two. It doesn't make any difference. We'll take a positive attitude towards going crunch on the thing, and perhaps if we do that, we'll get something out of tonight, because we've been playing, very with a lot of courage and desperation over the past 6 or 8 weeks, and had some wins, a lot of wins. But it hasn't been with good football, and this sort of defeat was, in a way, coming. I just didn't think it would happen tonight in a final, which is very disappointing from the club's point of view, to let ourselves down, our fans down like this. It's just not like us.
Did you get a little bit upset at three-quarter time, Ron?
Yeah, well, I guess I got a little bit like the boys, a bit frustrated. It's great to see the crowd right behind Fitzroy, but just at that moment I lost a bit of control and showed my feelings. I was a bit frustrated, but that's all fun and games. But not that I condone what I did, you know. In fact, I'm dead against any of my players gesturing to the crowd like that. It was bad. However, it's been done, and let's hope I can learn from it too.
Well, Ron, it's, as you say, next week's another match, and this is just another stepping stone for the flag in 78.
Well, if we learn from it I mean, defeats are great, or can be great, if you learn from them. Except, of course, the very last one of the year that you can't learn from that one because the year's over by then. But we intend to take that attitude, Doug, and you being on the committee should know all about that.
Okay, thanks very much, Ron, and thank you very much.
I must close. I have congratulated Fitzroy, but really I do mean that, because they've had a lot of hard luck this year, and the way they went into tonight was a credit to their club and to Graham Campbell and the boys. All the fullest of marks should go.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much, Ron Barassi, and now it's back to Peter, Lou and Bob upstairs.
Well, thanks, Doug, and a good interview too with Ron Barassi. And gentlemen, that just about takes us out for the night football series for 78.
Well, Peter, yes, I think the viewers would agree it's been a very successful season for Channel 7 and the Amco-Herald people, and also for the VFL too. We'd like to thank a lot of people, our cameramen, Peter, Paul and Russ, and all our audio guys, our technicians, and all the boys back there in the video tape room. And
our producer, Gordon Bennett.
Producer, Gordon Bennett, John Waters, everyone concerned, and also not forgetting our director, Alf Potter, and our good old mate here, Bobby Skilton, the triple Brownlow medalist, and I think you've enjoyed it very much, Bob.
Very much so, Lou, and not to mention all those people out there that have watched us week in, week out, and I certainly hope that they enjoyed the performance that Fitzroy put up tonight.
And also
statistician Mike Ringham.
Yeah, Mike Ringham. He doesn't go on camera very much, but he does a great job for us. And also congratulations to the 12 sides that competed in it.
13
sides, Tasmania, yes, and they put up a great show, but we certainly hope it's been a successful show from the viewers' point of view.
We hope you enjoyed it at home. And
yes.
Speaking of home, next Saturday night on Channel 7 you can see 3 very important games. You'll see South Melbourne playing Essendon at the Lake Oval, and you'll see the game out here at VFL Park between Carlton, Geelong and Collingwood rather, and the game that we're doing, Luke, Carlton and Richmond over at Princes Park.
Should be a great game, and we're looking forward to it, Pete.
We are too. Okay, so we do hope you've enjoyed the Amco-Herald Cup for 1978. We hope to be back in 1979, of course, when it will be bigger and better than ever. We'll see you football-wise, the big league, Saturday, 6:30.
Thank you.
We are the boys from home. Fitzroy, we wear the colours, maroon and blue. We will always fight for victory, and we'll always see it through. We lose, we do or die. In defeat, we'll always try. Fitzroy, Fitzroy, the club we hold so dear. Premiers will be this year.
Amco and the Herald sponsored tonight's VFL